Around the world, they've been surfing for 60 plus years. For us, it's relatively new. First time that we had all come together under this United Philippine Surfing Association. Surfing is an Olympic event. The potential for a Filipino to get very far in surfing is there. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes the Philippines to raise surfing. Competitive surfing is more than just a lifestyle, it's actually a job, and that's the way we need to approach it, and that's the way we did approach it. In the short term, we need to compete. We need to compete in our country, we need to compete in other countries. We need to be exposed to surfing across the Philippines, and that is exactly what we're doing. 2022, we went aggressively into competition mode. We had 4 legs in 3 months. An international event in Siargao. We had our national event in Siargao, Belair, Borongan and Cabugao. Next year we're going to double that with 8 legs and 2 international events through the WSL. Since the announcement of surfing in the Olympics, amazing things have happened in our sport. We've put our focus on the youth, the stars of tomorrow. We have a caravan that goes around the Philippines. We go from province to province and train them and educate them on how to become Philippines' greatest surfers. We want to raise up champions, the glory of victory. We want to mix this all together and showcase the talent we have right here in the Philippines. We want to raise up athletes who will raise up gold for the Philippines. Without the support and love of Next Gen, the next generation of surfers in the Philippines wouldn't be where they are today. Maraming salamat, Next Gen, and we look forward to continually working with you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to San Juan, La Union in the Philippines. This is the La Union International Pro. Chris Binns here. Underneath the resort restaurant sign you can see on the roof of that building next to me is Jerry Deegan, and we've got
good morning, mate.
A bit of a jump in wind and waves this morning. What are we looking at, Jerry?
Well, again, the predictions haven't come to fruition, thankfully. So now we have a lot more swell than we thought. It's a little onshore, but it's pretty rippable out there. I've been watching them for the last hour and a half, and I'm pretty happy with what we've got because I really thought we weren't going to do anything till this afternoon at least. So bring it on.
Yeah, so we're running straight on into women's round of 16 action. So 4 heats in the water. And they are all but ready to go. 25-minute heats, first and second through to the quarterfinals.
Correct. Quarterfinals will be person on person or surfer on surfer. And then we are going to the men's round of 32 straight after the women's. So we've got a stack of surfing ahead of us.
Yeah, and this is the start of the swell. It's just going to jump and jump and jump until the finish from this point on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a bit ragged and woolly out there, but it's going to be challenging the competitors. And I think it's actually... it's not necessarily a bad thing. There's going to be lots more sections thrown at it. The surfers
more
are going
to... and all the rest of it. Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it.
A little bit more spontaneity required, and yeah, looking forward to it. Right now we're going to cross down to the sidelines to find out what's going on and what the run of play is. Morning, fellas.
Welcome back. This is our 5th day of the La Union International Pro. we will run the round of 16 for the women's shortboard and round of 32 for the men's shortboard.
Yeah, I think the swell is building today. This is, I would say, the first day of the swell, and a bit of a chop, but I think condition gonna get better and better with the tides coming in. I think, Luke.
Yeah, for sure. The swell is here. At least that's good news. And yeah, it's gonna be a non-stop day of action.
I think so. There's still a lot of Filipino in the draw, couple Indonesian, couple Japanese, and which would be an amazing day for sure. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Stay tuned, and back to you guys at the booth.
I believe they're going to go to the top 5 waves of yesterday. I'm told that they'll give us that shortly, so we can have a look at that and see what was happening with the longboard yesterday. Compare the waves today to from yesterday to today, and have a look at what we got. But I think we're going to see epic surfing today.
Yeah, yesterday, marked contrast to what we're dealing with today. We saw JR Esquivel and Natsumi Taoka take the win. This is Natsumi. Conditions were small, but not a drop out of place. Picture perfect and just ideal for longboarding. I think this week's really put San Juan and Mona Lisa Point in particular on the map. I wouldn't be surprised if there's longboarders from all over who are like, hang on a second, what is this
I'm booking my ticket.
Dreamy little right-hand reef?
I don't know if it's a dream today, but it's certainly good. That's Sakura. That's from yesterday. That was a 7.5. And she had a fantastic day yesterday.
She did. She had an incredible semi-final. The performances throughout were fantastic. And she was sitting second in the final for 29 of the 30 minutes. Both ladies just exchanging sevens.
Correct. And against this lady, Miss Yoshikawa, I can't off the top of my head remember her first name. And I thought she had it in the bag, but she didn't in the long run.
Yeah, well, it was
and that was an 8.0.
Came down to priority right at the end. She, Natsumi had priority, let the first wave go, and took off on the second to bag the highest score of the final and jump up into the lead as the siren went. So it was an incredible finish. And, well, the ladies just covered themselves in glory. Huge crowd in attendance, and it was a very popular final. Both ladies ran themselves into dry reef on their last wave. Such was their commitment. There it is.
Right there. Well, that one, her fin hit the bottom. I had a chat to her later, and her fin hit the bottom, and she just went over the handlebars. And pretty dangerous, but she handled it.
And then we rolled on into the final. This is Taka Inui, the Japanese surfer who looked absolutely unbeatable throughout the field.
I believe this was a 9.25 as well.
It was. He started off the final with a massive score and really threw down the gauntlet to Rogelio J.R. Esquivel, the local. He's from right here.
He's from here. He's from La Union. He's surfed longboard and shortboard. That's the man right there. Is that? Yes, it is. Is that Takoa?
No, that's
JR. That's JR. Yeah, that's in the final. I remember that exact move. Yeah, he's from here. Super incredibly popular. He's be back in the draw today on the shortboards. He's a all-round waterman, this guy. He'd be invited to the Eddie next year, I reckon. He's so good. And he was happy about that. So they were the top 5 waves yesterday, top 5 scores.
Okay, back to the shortboarding. Round of 16, heat 1 is in the water right now. It's Minamai Nanaka from Japan, top seed in the red jersey. Suri Jabrik is the Indonesian surfer in blue. Nilby Bankada is in white, and she's from right here in the Philippines. And Nao Amora, our 4th competitor, will be wearing the green jersey, and we are underway.
All right, we'll see how the girls handle this. I'm hoping it stays like this for the day, or the wind gets a little better. It's meant to pick up quite substantially, but we don't seem to be able to predict anything here at the moment. So whatever happens, happens, and we'll deal with whatever comes our way. I had dinner last night with Suri Jabrik and her dad Tippy, who'll be in the commentary box later on. We had a lovely dinner at one of Kermit's restaurants there. It was really nice. So thank you for those guys. A couple of beers.
Kermit's one of our sponsors.
Kermit is one of our sponsors.
And Kermit is a restaurant, a chain of restaurants?
It's a
person.
Kermit is Gianni. Gianni's a lovely bloke. He started the restaurant in Siargao as Amura's up. Let's see what she can do with this. She's got into the section. Nothing much there. Yeah, so that started in Siargao with one restaurant and a resort. I believe they moved to Manila. I don't know if that one's still going, but they've got 2 restaurants here now. One is called La Cantina and one is just called Kermit's, I believe. But really, really nice food. You know, we had steaks and pizzas last night. It's fantastic.
Okay, there's the replay of Naomora's opening wave.
First wave of the day. We'll see how the judges are feeling. I'm not sure that that she would want that to be her keeper, but I don't know what else she can do for out there. We'll see what they think.
So this onshore, it's a cross shore, it's a northerly, so it's going from the right of the screen to the left as we're looking at it right now.
It is, but if it was a direct northerly, it would be more offshore. So there's a little bit of west in it,
Right.
and it's what we don't really want. It's a bit of a devil wind, and they gave her a 2.25 for that wave. So just starting there, that was Nelby was looking at that wave. Nelby's from Siargao. She's won everything there is to win in the Philippines. I believe she won a QS in Indonesia as well. But she's been the premier Philippine female surfer for some years now, and her forehand attack is deadly. So I'm expecting her to, you know, really get some decent scores here. Although, in saying that, she's very much a surfer that surfs the Siargao area, which is usually offshore and clean. This is more, it almost looks beach breaky out there.
Yeah, I think the Japanese surfers would be pretty happy with this, surfing a lot of beach breaks as their daily driver.
Yes, well, certainly Nelby is from the, you know, Cloud 9, the perfect A-frame down there. Surfed it once or twice myself. And Suri, she's only 14, so pretty cool she's made it through, and hopefully she can carry on. Loads of experience to be gained surfing against these kind of surfers. So we'll see what Suri can do. And up and riding, that is Suri there. She chose not to hang on to that one, which is probably a pretty good move. If you were watching just before it started, we had a nice ad there for Next Gen, which is the group really supporting Philippine surfing. John Carby was talking a lot about it. Next Gen, you know, we're really thankful to have them. And we're thankful to have all our sponsors, but Next Gen in particular is offering, you know, hard cash and lots of support for surfing here in the Philippines, and did it for the Siargao event last year, doing it for the national events, doing it for this event, and with a bit of luck, we're doing it for Siargao, which we're hoping will be back on the calendar soon, and that will be around mid-October. It's been going for off and on. Well, it's off during COVID, but since 1995 was the very first event there, and it was just put together by Pirate Pete, I don't know if he's listening, and Mayor Jaime Resilien. And they put it together just with a bunch of surfers that happened to be there. There was about 10 surfers on the island at that stage in the early days. And it's grown from that into what this year will be a QS 3000 men's and women's. And I've seen every single one of them except one.
Have you ever competed?
No.
Never got a beach start?
No, because, you know, I always helped organise it. And I figured, you know, my 50 pesos a day was more than I'd ever win going in it. You know, there's pretty good surfers over the years. I know. In the early days, we actually invited surfers to come out because it was hard to find, you know, good surfers on the island, and we weren't associated with anything. And I don't know if I know you know these people. I rang up. Oh, there's Nelly herself. So plenty of style. She throws buckets of water, and she knows what she's doing. Hanging on to this one. I wonder if she'll get a section. Okay, that's a pretty good start there.
That's a great wave. Looking very lively. She's really brought the energy on that one. It's want to see a bit of a sleepy start across the first 5 minutes, and Nilby Blancada will have woken the judges up with that one. As we see Minamai Nanaka on the wave behind. This is a good looking wave as well. So, yeah, as we can see, there's obviously a lot more bump and chop on the face of the waves, but it's not necessarily going to be a bad thing, especially with surfers of this standard. It'll just give them a little bit more to think about and a few little different angles and sections to work with, so it'll force a bit of variety.
Absolutely. You know, you see something coming, you float over it. If it's just a straight wall, you tend to see a lot of the same manoeuvres, so it's unlikely we're going to see that today.
All right, here's the replay of Nilby's first wave. Opening carve to get things going. Okay, we just saw the end of that, but the score is still to drop in, and waiting on Minamai Nanaka's wave to drop in as well.
So I'm certainly thinking Nilby's will be the best wave so far. Okay, the judges taking their time to compare the first couple of waves. They've got to set the level now, or set the bar for the rest of the day, or for the rest of the heats with the girls. So Ty Conahan's down there advising his troops as to which way we should go. There we go. It's a 6.0. That's a very nice start. We don't know at this stage whether that'll be a keeper, but I'm certainly sure she's happy with a 6.0 to start her campaign off, or her round of 32 with.
And Minamai, her opener was a 4. Sorry, 4.5. So she'll be happy with that as well. Just a foundation, but it is a start. 17 minutes to run.
Probably a little difficult for the girls to know exactly where to sit out there today. I'm sure they were watching early in the piece to get an indication, and I know some of them, I saw Suri out there earlier at least. I'm sure they all had a bit of a go. But at this stage, yeah, it's not really sure. We've got one sitting kind of wide, a couple inside. They're fairly spread out, really, with Nelby being way up there on the inside, although she isn't holding any priority. So, well, third priority at least, but there's a big wide one motoring through. It's going to plough a couple of them down. .16 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Nelby is still holding on to that lead. They chose to give them 25 minutes, knowing that it was going to be a little difficult to get waves, and 20 minutes would not be enough. I think there was even a discussion of 30 minutes, but the thinking was that there was enough waves coming through. When you were watching the free surfing, you know, there weren't that many people out and every wave was being ridden. So we'll see how they go in their 20 minutes. I don't know that the judges can change anything halfway through, but they may readjust things for the men's next round if it looks like we're not getting enough waves. It's a bit of a tester, this one. See what happens. So surfer in blue, Suri Jabrik, she has priority. Minami will be in second priority, and Nelby in third priority. After the surfing yesterday, myself and Chris and a couple of them travelled a little bit down the coast and had a hit of golf. It was pretty good fun, wasn't it? It's a really nice golf course there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Right on the ocean. It's, yeah, one of the most picturesque golf courses I've ever seen.
All right, here goes Minamai Nanaka, currently sitting in second, floats over the first section, now finds a clean pocket to do some rail work. A couple of turns before this wave peters out, but good little bit of variety, and she is out of there.
She looks pretty powerful and pretty stylish. So different than watching the shortboards and the longboards. It's such a different way of surfing. Stylish on both ends, and so different to watch moving up and down the board yesterday. This thing, she just plants her feet, smashes that section, comes around and just sprays another cutty off the lip, or side cutty, or whatever we call it. And then she's out of there. I'm sure they're going to like that. 2 big manoeuvres. And I guess they have to scale on, 2 or 3 manoeuvres today because the waves may not be so long, although I did see a couple of really long ones earlier. Probably pretty hard for the judges. You see 2 fantastic manoeuvres like that. I'll be interested to see that they are scoring it.
Well, the judges have loved it. A 7.5 for that wave. And Neilby Blancarter in second is not going to hang around. Takes off on this wave. 1 turn and she is out of there. Days like this, I think you want to stay busy.
I agree.
We can see Suri Jabrick with priority. She doesn't want to hold on to it. There's so many waves. It's all over the place. There's not much consistency. Not sure that there's much point in just sitting and waiting for the bomb to come along because, it's one of those days you'll get your good waves paddling back out. Something that just comes to you and pops up.
Exactly.
You just want to keep moving and see if you can't get in a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right there. And that is the kind of day it is because there's inside ones, there's wide ones. Catch a long one, paddle out a wide one, zips through and you're in the spot already. So, yeah. It's just sitting out the back waiting is a little bit difficult, and you're right. I don't know that it's the right strategy, but she'll probably prove us wrong. Get a bomb and get a 10. So what do you do? What do you think the judges do? They scored that at a 7.5. That was a great score. She had 2 fantastic manoeuvres. What if the wave goes a little longer and she does 2 more manoeuvres exactly the same? They're not going to give her a 15, but it just goes to show the scoring level is pretty high and they're prepared to throw out scores for big manoeuvres.
Yeah, also, it's the difference between a 2 and a 3 is not the same as the difference between a 7 and an 8. It gets sort of exponentially harder to
yeah, okay.
Get up into the upper realm. But, yeah, Minamai knows her base now, and if she can just get a longer wave, throw in a little bit more variety and stay as fluent as she looked on that wave, she knows that big scores are easily attainable.
So yesterday was, apart from, of course, our winner in the men's, was dominated by the Japanese. And there's a lot of Japanese in this draw as well, the men's and the women's in the shortboards. They're loving it here, and that was an attempted paddle there by Nelby, who doesn't have any priority anyway, so that was worth giving it a dig.
Are there direct flights from Tokyo to Manila?
There are direct flights, yes.
I know we've
more than one airline, as a matter of fact. You've got Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, and one of the Japanese, All Nippon, fly. So there's stacks of flights.
And do you get a lot of Japanese tourism in the Philippines?
You do. At one stage, the Japanese represented the most amount of tourists in the country. I believe that's changed now. That was when I first came in the 90s. I think there were more Americans than anyone else, but a lot of them were working on the bases and things like that. The actual tourism, there were more Japanese than anyone else, and a lot of the signs in places like Boracay were in Japanese. They've been overtaken a little bit as far as numbers by the Koreans. And so things are changing, but a lot more tourism in the country altogether.
All right, we're having a quick look right now at Minamai Nanaka's 7.5. Easily the best wave of the heat. And the judges just liking the fluency. The floater to get things going. That was what we were talking about. You get the section in front of you, you just have to deal with it. And she climbed up and over. Not a huge point scorer, but it gave her that speed when she came down from the lip
next one, yeah.
to then throw it into that first turn, and that'll be where the bulk of her points came. Really fluently on rail all the way through that turn, came out and straight into another one. Well, Suri Jabrick's had a paddle for that, so she's lost priority. So she's sat for, almost 7 or 8 minutes with priority, and then she's coughed it up.
May well force her to take anything now.
Yeah, might not be a bad thing.
Correct. Take that one on the head, though. So, yeah, the tourism, I couldn't tell you the exact numbers now, but I know there's a lot more Koreans coming than there were, and I know at some stage they overtook as the most tourists here. But there's lots of Russians now coming here as well, Chinese as well.
Here goes Minamai Nanaka. So looking to get rid of her 4 2 strong turns already, and this one giving her some good shape running down the line. And, this is looking pretty good for Minamai. You're asking what happens when she gets a wave that's twice as long. This one's a little bit smaller. It's nice and close to the reef, and it's got good shape, and it allows her to open the shoulders and unleash 4 or 5 good turns back to back. That might well be the best wave of the heat so far.
I would be thinking, you know, I wonder if that one manoeuvre on the last one was better than those, but there was a lot more manoeuvres in this one. A little bit milky. Does that take anything away from the wave?
Well, no, but it does take away from the performance. Obviously, you can't sort of carve through
So
the
much,
white watery suds the way you can through an open face. Nothing too critical. The board was pretty flat for a lot of that. Okay, so we're still waiting on that score to drop in.
Picture of the contest site there and the reef from the drone. Our mate, the drone driver's been here all day, every day. The drone goes out, runs out of battery, comes in, puts a new battery, goes out. It's a lot of time in the air, so we appreciate what you do for us. And there we go, there's Nelby up and riding. So Nelby's looking to get a second good score. Oh, she just lost it on that turn there. And there's Suri just behind Nelby. And we didn't see what was happening there. So there were 2 waves ridden there. Are we still waiting for the other? Okay, so we've got a score in now for Nanaka. Now, her first score was a 7.5. I'm trying to figure out my math. It must have been a little less than a 7.5 for the second one. So they really liked the those big manoeuvres on the first one. 6.40 was the wave. So they did score a less. We weren't as clever as we thought we were. It was a far, far longer wave, but I think none of the manoeuvres, as you said, were as critical. None of them were as vertical. So it's still a great backup score, and she's motored away from the other girls at the moment. So Nelby's second score was a 2.8, which gives her an 8.80 total. So she's not comfortable as yet with just under 6 minutes to go, but you know, the 2 top women in this one are looking somewhat comfortable, but anything can happen from here on in.
All right, sneaking down towards the 5-minute mark, and it's Minamai Nanaka in the lead. Nilby Blancada is sitting second, and Naomura and Suri Jabrick have some work to do.
Right on 5 minutes. So that was a 2.8 that Nelby got. She needs a 7.90 to move into the lead. Naomura needs a 6.55 to move into second place. And Suri Jabrick needs a 6.60 to move into second place.
Yeah, so Nelby just wants to get rid of that 2.8 and really separate herself and Minamai from Naomura and Suri Jabrick. Unfortunately for green and blue, yet to really fire a shot at this point.
Yeah, I guess they're finding it difficult. It looks in the free surf like there are thousands of waves to be had. They're finding it a little more difficult now to find the position or to get the wall. So, you know, they're pro surfers. They're out there. They've got to deal with whatever conditions come along their way.
All right, here's a chance for Suri Jabrick to get herself back into the picture, but she realised that Nao had priority and did the right thing, kept well away from her. If anything, she's, well, just cost Nao priority because that wave was terrible. And first and second priority have now, they'll go to the back of the line and make things even tougher because it is now first and second who've picked up first and second priority.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. You know, unfortunate for Suri and maybe not the greatest move by Now. But, you know, I think she was thinking there's 3 minutes remaining. I need to get on a wave and rather than let my competitor try to get some points here, I'll go and do it. But it didn't work out for her.
Was it now or never for Omura?
It's now or never. Well, there's another one. That's a couple of good ones. Well, that one wasn't as good as yesterday.
3 minutes to go.
I mean, there's been a 7.5 thrown already, so it's certainly not at this stage impossible for Now or Suri to get a 7, and a 7 would take them into second place. Slightly less than a 7 actually for both of them, so you know it's a possibility. Well, there we are with Now. She's managed to get one anyway after that priority issue.
Yeah, that was a decent turn.
I didn't see what happened at the start. I wonder if there was a turn previous to that. For her sake, I hope there was, because I'm not sure that one turn would be enough to get a 6.55.
So 2 minutes remaining. Naomura is chasing a 6.55. That last turn won't be enough, but she might have...
No, that was, I think I heard downstairs call a 3.15. It hasn't come up on our tablet at this stage. Well, that's the start of it. It was a pretty solid wave. And then this was then the only manoeuvre. Oh, it was worth a dig. That's maybe the biggest wave someone's taken off on so far in the event today. But you're not getting lots of points just due to the size. Need to be able to turn that little 5'8" surfboard, or however big those boards are. I saw them, I've been looking at the boards and, you know, the literage is just...
It's tiny, isn't it?
Paddle popstick-ish.
Yeah. A lot of the surfers have been riding epoxies to this point, but now that there's a little bit of chop on the face, the common thinking is that's when the epoxies with their extra buoyancy, slightly corkier, they get a little bit chattery, and
yeah.
Maybe you want the flex pattern of the more traditional PU surfboard. 1 minute remaining. And Naomura got a 3.15 for her last wave, so it goes into her top 2. She's now chasing a 5.66. But time, the enemy. Just over 30 seconds to run.
30 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Yeah, and you know, again, our first and second places are holding first and second priority. Okay, there's green on the inside.
Yeah, last roll of the dice time with 20 seconds to go. She needs that 5.66. And not going to happen. Bit disappointing if you've been waiting around for the last 2 or 3 days to get a crack, and unfortunately you're bowing out. But that's the thing about these elimination heats. Half of the competitors go home at every time. So it's Minamai Nanaka and Nilby Blancata through to the next round. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with Heat 2, round of 16 action at the La Union International Pro right after this.
Okay. Welcome back. I'm here now with the famous John Carby. Every day he gets more famous. Enjoying it, John?
I am. I'm loving it, and it's good to see. As soon as we woke up this morning, you could notice there was that little bump in energy in the swell, which was forecast. And in true WSL fashion over here in the Philippines, it came in early.
It did, and we were expecting basically a whole day of tiny little waves. And there our first surfer in white is up and riding.
Sarah Wakita from Japan getting things started. Also out there in the water with her is Georgie May Hicks, Shiano Matsuda, and also Sumomo Sato. Here's White up and riding. She's still riding. Oh, little slip on the inside section. We're hoping as that tide sort of fills in. At the moment, it's breaking pretty far out, Jerry. There's a few little wash-through sets coming in.
Yes, there is. And we've missed Red's first wave. I just heard it came in as an 8.50, so I'm not sure if the boys in the broadcast had that or not.
Right, but yes, good to see some waves this morning. We've got a few little... Oh, and there's also Surfing Blue, Georgie May, up and riding from Great Britain. Big thank you to our legendary Sam, our tech guy, for sorting out all these small stumbling hurdles that we get along the way. Also can smack a golf ball, as was seen yesterday down at the golf course. Down there, a little par 3, nice little course, Jerry. You had fun down there?
Had a lot of fun, by the way. It wasn't a par 3.
It wasn't a par 3, it was just a 9-hole.
It's a 9-hole proper course. That's Sumomo Sato. Nice little wave, see what kind of score she gets there. It was a terrific course. As a matter of fact, it's a proper golf course that it just is only 9 holes. There were par 5s, par 4s. It was in great condition and it was just majestic. Right on the ocean. Loads of fun.
You're not maybe a little bit positive because you did get the win amongst the crew?
Oh, well, I didn't say that, did I? But, yeah, I shot a solid 47.
You didn't say that, but it was in the group chat pretty quick.
Yeah, well, it goes to show how good we are. The winner was at 47 and there were 14 of us.
But good day down there.
Anyway, so here we are. We're 4 minutes in, and Shino Matsuda has got an 8.50. I think it happened during the ad, and there might have been some technical issues there so that we didn't end up with the replay. I'm sure the guys will search for it. If we can get it, we will get it. But so in the meantime, what we'll do, we will go to the winner, Minami, of our last heat. So we've got Chris Binns down there with our Japanese surfer, Minami.
Thank you very much, guys. Down here with the winner of the last heat. How are the waves out there this morning?
It was hard to find good waves, but I scored 7.5. I'm happy.
Yeah, that first wave was a big score. You must have been happy when you saw the section, got to do some turns.
Can I speak Japanese?
Sure, go for it. Japanese.
一番初めに7.5でいい波に乗れて、いいサーフィンできたので良かったです。
Well, congratulations. You're on to the next round. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Chris. A lady of not too many words, Minami, obviously. I think it's sometimes a bit daunting to have a big foreign man with a microphone sticking it in your face, and you just don't know what to say, and your English is average, and you just get confused and nervous, but her surfing did the talking for her.
It did. She put in a very good score, especially in those conditions. It was... This morning is sort of setting the scale for the girls out there. Like I said, we haven't seen conditions like this. Every morning we've been down, it's been...
Absolute glass, every single morning, yeah. So this is quite unusual. It's what I like about it. Well, I don't like much about it, to be honest. I wish it was pumping and offshore, but it's cooled the place down.
It has cooled the place down.
You know, it's hot here, and if there's no breeze and you're in the sun, it is hot. And it's not necessarily just the temperature, which is around 30, but it's the humidity, which really gets to you here.
Yeah, you can probably hear the wind actually rushing through these microphones. We're 3 stories up, and we're getting... The AC's on today. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. And again, here we are, and Shino Matsuda has got an 8.5 and a 0.65. She's well into the lead at the moment with the only real score that I think any of them would like to think is a keeper out there. The rest are a bunch of twos, actually. So she's ahead. Sarah Wakita needs a 6.26 to move into first place. Sumomo Sato needs only a 2.76 to move into second, and Georgia May Hicks needs only a 3.10. I believe we might have Georgia May up on the microphone again a bit later. She did it the other day. I really, really enjoyed it and was pretty good at it.
Not just enjoyed it, she was good at it. We had a few good little chats with Georgia May, and it'll be interesting to see her. She was actually trying to commentate longboard, which she got a new appreciation for as she was sitting up here and dissecting all the manoeuvres and everything like that. So be good to see her perspective on her fellow competitors.
Yeah. She's only 16, correct?
She's only 16, and she's had a pretty interesting beginning. Living in Indonesia, travelling around Indonesia. She rides for Team Great Britain, England. She was over in the World Juniors in El Salvador last year for the ISA. Lives in Indonesia with the dad. Has spent a bit of time in Australia. She's had more of a life than me and my...
Probably me too. Her dad, Matt, played golf with us yesterday, actually.
Oh, did he? Yeah, he's a great guy too.
He's a great guy, and he hits a pretty good ball, by the way. He was talking himself down. He got up to the first tee and smashed a 5-wood far further than what I thought was my very long 1-wood. So he did pretty well.
Well, that's good.
He lost a ball at one stage, and we didn't have balls. He had a pink ball. Once he grabbed the pink ball, he just couldn't hit it anymore.
The curse. I'd like to shout out to Next Gen too, one of our major... actually, let's go back to an 8.5, this one that we missed of...
Shina Matsuda.
Shina Matsuda's. Here it is.
Oh, backhand. Oh, what a smash.
I don't know if that was the full replay, but that was one heck of a vertical snap that she gave that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty intense. That's a winning smash in the men's draw as well. That was a proper turn.
Absolutely. So
I guess even though we didn't see her take off, that was probably the majority of the points right there. That was I really appreciate that. I'm a goofy footer, and that's and this kind of wave can actually be beneficial on your backhand.
Absolutely. When you got that foamy section, it gives you that chance to actually swing that board up into that 12 o'clock position and really crack that lip and throw those fins out the back. A lot more eye-pleasing for the judges sometimes than those forehand approaches, because it can be a little bit hard. You've got to really drive out of those bottom turns, and a wave like this, without having the huge steep face, might be a little bit harder for them to get to that vertical approach, where the backhanders can sort of throw their shoulders, arms and head up there and just put everything on the line, knowing that the board's going to come back under you at some point.
Yep, no, I agree. These certain waves, certain conditions do favour backhanders, and traditionally, there's someone taking off wide.
That might be...
Sumomo.
There she goes, getting to that open face. Nice wrap, a little bit bogged up in that second turn. And we'll see if this one continues to work into the bay.
Okay, well, that was a nice wave, and I'm sure she doesn't have a second wave, scoring wave anyway, but I suspect that will be her best scoring wave.
I reckon that might be the second best scoring wave of the heat so far.
I think you're probably on a good bet there, Johnny.
Who's that? That looks... Here it is.
Replay. It's a nice turn to start with. A little off the whiteboard, as you said. She lost a bit of speed through there. Made it back out to the section. Cut back into the power and does it one more time.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. There wasn't a great deal of anything that stood out. Not too many major highlights. If it does get up there, I don't think it'll go too much higher. Here's our Saffron White. Getting busy out there.
So it must have been close to a 4 again. Our little scoring thing here is seems to be a little slow. So we're finding out, not before you, listeners and watchers, we're finding out pretty much at the same time.
Yep. A 4.50. The beach commentator helping us with the assist there. Thanks there to Dom Kui for...
Well, that was for this particular wave, so that wasn't Sumo's wave.
Oh, there's a nice little hack.
Yeah. Okay, so they're really getting paid off for the one big turn, and I think that's fair, and that's the kind of surf it is today.
It is. It's not offering those smooth running waves where you can hack at it. But that said, I saw on the free surfs this morning that there was a few opportunities, and they were capitalising on them. That's why the decision was made to get them out there as soon as possible. We had a few little delays. And here we go. I think Shino Matudo is actually finding her rhythm out there, and I think she's going to put together a pretty comfortable lead after this wave.
I think without question there. But no need to panic for the other girls. We still have 13.5 minutes remaining. And I think... Okay, we don't have the score in as yet, but they're waiting to hear. You know, just to let you guys know that are listening to us or maybe watching us, we've got a couple of little technical glitches, and so what's happening is sometimes we're hearing the beach announcer and then we're announcing it back to you guys.
I'm not sure. Can you hear me in your ear, Jerry? It's a bit of wind. There's a bit of fun going out there. I'm not sure I can actually be heard at the moment. This is why we do this, huh? Good fun.
Well, there you go. That was a 5.50.
5.50.
For Shino's wave. So she's well into the lead with a total of 14. Double the rest of them, just about. So Sara Wakita's last wave was a 4.5, and that green wave from Susumu Sato, who you suggested didn't do a great deal. You were exactly right there, John. That was a 4.0. It got her well out of the twos, though. So it's a real battle for the second place at this stage. It may change at any time, but for the second place at the moment to move into first, she actually needs a 9.50. The other two are comboed, but they only need to get to second to go to the next round. So, you know, no one's remembering who came first in round 16, heat 2. They're just remembering the first and the second who moved on into the quarterfinals.
Exactly, and that's it. They're actually remembering the one who won overall, right? It's not how you get there, it's that you get there.
Correct.
And these girls out there, say it looks like really challenging conditions. You can see the white cap sort of bubbling all over the sea there, but the waves are very contestable. We're expecting the swell to build throughout the day, so the bigger it gets, the more tide we get. Hopefully it lines up even better throughout the day, but there is plenty of scoring opportunity out there, as we can see with that.
Yeah, the wind is actually getting stronger. It was fairly strong this morning, and I walked down here, and when we first started that first heat, there weren't white caps like that, and it's really blown up in the last 20 minutes.
There is. Down here at the La Union International Pro, brought to you by NextGen. I'd like to just explain a little bit what NextGen is for those who don't know.
Go for it.
They're a group of like-minded individuals from various injuries throughout the Philippines, and actually came together with a dream to help build and empower the Philippines. They believe in potential of Filipinos to become a great nation and strive to make a difference throughout the community development and initiatives. The goal is to bridge the resources of the public and the private sectors, and also help reducing the impact of natural disasters on these areas. Through prevention, planning, disaster response, and providing access to health care and recreational activity, they aim to enhance the lives of underprivileged communities in the Philippines. One of the areas that they're doing this through is sport, like ours, Jerry. So major supporters of surfing. They sort of came on board with us last year with the United Philippine Surfers Association, and we've got a great partnership, and a part of this WSL La Union event was because of the amazing generosity and vision of NextGen. So big.
They sound unbelievable. It also sounds a little bit like maybe you're on the payroll.
No, not at all. It's actually not really even like that. It's just.
No, I know. I understand where they're coming from, and I know what they're doing, and they're doing wonderful things, not just for surfing, but for other sports.
Yeah, and it is, and it's also it is about the Philippine people for them. So there's no real agendas other than getting the Philippines like rising with the tide together. Connecting the private and government sectors also is a huge thing in the Philippines. So good work, NextGen, and maraming salamat.
There's Georgia May up and riding. She's been waiting quite a while for a decent wave, and looks like she's going to put a decent score on here. I should never have said anything.
Commentators should keep their mouths shut.
Yes, it's going to make it difficult. But
she did a bit of damage on that early. That fall's definitely going to be costly. Here she goes again. And again on the replay. Nice wrap to start things off. This is where she was just starting to get it. Sort of a mid-face turn there. This was going to be the money turn of that wave, and she just got a little bit caught on that front rail as the foam sort of chased her down.
Okay, and that was the second wave that we watched while you were having a chat there, John, of Sumomo. She got a 3.65, which made it a little bit harder for the other girls. And Actually, Shino has a 5.55 and 8 point. So a 10 is needed for Sarah. Oh, hang on, I've got different things going on here. Okay, for Samomo to move into first place, she needs a 10.
Yep, but she's in second. That's all but combination out in conditions like this. It's going to be very hard to find a 10 by any means.
Again, it just seems at this stage, with 8.5 minutes to go, to be a fight for second place. So I haven't seen the wave for Georgia come in yet.
Yes, it came in as a 2.85, so okay. That fall definitely costing her. Who knows what was left on that wave. It looked like she was just sort of warming up to that rhythm and losing it. We have out there in the moment with priority is Sarah Wakita, and she's tricky.
And there she is. She's used a priority.
Oh.
And it looks to me like she's using it well.
She's got a great style.
Finished that off nicely. So hopefully that will help her out.
Here it is, replay of that one. A little nice opening snap, which is setting up this second turn almost perfectly. And a nice third strong maneuver there. So
nice variety.
Yeah, she's going to be happy with that. I'm pretty sure that's going to drop in at a quite solid number. Will it be enough to get her up into second? She's only looking for a 3.15. There it was.
6.35, so well paid. Well surfed and well paid, that one. So she's now moved into second place, which is all she really needs. And it's made it far, far harder for Susumu and Georgia May at this stage to move into second place.
And so that's a good little eye-opener for the other competitors who are coming up in their heats this morning. We saw Shino's massive vertical snap, getting that massive score, the 8.50. Unfortunately, we don't know what happened before it, but those three medium-level turns that Sarah just sort of put on.
Yeah, were enough to get her up into the what was that, the average range? Into the good range, actually.
Into the good range. So if you're a surfer in your upcoming heats, maybe you're going to be thinking about that massive turn and trying to eye off that big section and putting all your commitment.
Correct.
And getting the work done. Like, better to get it done with less energy than to hack away at it.
Well, exactly. And then you haven't got the long paddle out. You know, you can get back and get the priority quicker. There's a lot of good things about that on a day like today when, you know, there are big sections to hit.
Absolutely. And being in the position of a coach of one of these guys, this is what we sort of teach them to look at. How are the judges scoring? Because you don't really know what surfing you need to do. It's the judges who are setting the schedule on that one. So make sure you're down there before your heat, checking out the surfing and checking out what judges are throwing at them. And it's a huge, important part of putting together a good little campaign and getting yourself through each heat.
Yes. And so you are the coach of Nelby?
I've got Nilby Blancata, who I was pretty happy to see go through in that last heat. You know, she's a Cloud9 local girl, so not often is she out there in onshore conditions.
Correct, yeah.
Over there in Shargau, you basically go out when it's minimum 4 foot offshore and pumping.
And it often is, yeah. Now, we discussed that earlier, the fact that it's a real different kind of a playing arena for her to come to this particular spot on a day like today. The other days when it was clean, you know, long wall, that's okay. But, you know, this is real sort of nasty beach breakish look, and you really have to take advantage of what it is. If you're not used to it and your coach is, you know, upstairs talking and not coaching you, then, you know, you need to think about what you're going to do. You need to have a strategy.
Absolutely. And, yeah, and most of these events, they've been coached. They know what they should be doing. Relying on the athlete's instincts is where they're going to win or lose. A coach can only take you so far, and these athletes are the ones that have to jump in and surf their heat. So what they've learned up until this point, I already say the work is done. And she got through, so usually at this stage it's up to them. The strength work's done, the mind work's a lot up to them. Finding those techniques to calm themselves and get them through the moments that they need to get to is a lot of the battle. A lot of this is a mental game, strategic and everything like that. So it's all part of building them up throughout the year to hit these events. And they're all staying very busy in competitions this year so far. So also a huge benefit. A big shout out to the Blancata family back there in Shargo Island. Neil D, big supporter of her sister. Oh man, do you want to go through the whole family of those guys? Let's have a crack.
Nalin,
Nikki.
Neldy, Nikki,
Nilo.
All ends.
Yeah.
Nida.
Nida.
I'm sorry if we have missed someone there. But, you know, a really well-known and established Katungnan family. Katungnan is the town right next to General Luna. And as a matter of fact, where they grew up, their house was essentially the closest house in the early days before all the housing started down there. Their house was the closest house to Cloud9 as well.
Epic. All right, let's get back to the action out there in the water. Nothing much has changed in these last 5 minutes. With 3 minutes remaining on the clock, we still have Shino Matsuda out in front with a 14 total score. Sarah Wakita is sitting out there in second place. She has a 10.85 score. Still chasing her down is Sumo Sato, and she's very hard to say with our score technical issues we've got going on. She's looking for a pretty reasonable score by the looks of things to get herself up there into second place, and Georgie Hicks is currently sitting
in fourth place. Yeah, no, she needs a substantial score to get up there. So, you know, with 2 minutes to go, I'm not going to say they need a miracle, but they need a huge piece of luck at this stage. And Georgia May in particular, because she's only fourth priority as well.
Yep. And that last wave of Sarah was definitely got her into that position of confidence and comfortableness, and big work for Sumama and Georgie May to get here. But priority also is with our current heat leader, Surfer in green. Sumama is in second priority, so she may get a chance, and Georgia Hicks is sitting there in fourth priority in last place, which isn't a situation you want to be in. But she's also sitting quite far in on the point, Georgie. She might be looking for one of these wide running waves under priority, and it looks like that's exactly what she's going to do on this one. Nope, getting away from her.
So just on a minute to go, you know, it's a real tall order now for the surfer in green and the surfer in blue. Someone's having a dig right here. Is that our surfer in white? So that is Sarah.
She may be putting a play for the lead here.
Yeah, she's just going to make it harder for the rest of them here. And take it all the way in. Smash the section.
Again, putting together a pretty solid looking wave on that one. So she's looking to get rid of her 4.5 and see if she can improve upon hers. Like we said, it's not about going through. It helps a little bit with your seeding going through, but here's the replay. Nice opening carve on that one, getting back to that whitewash. A little bit of downtime in the middle here. She's hoping for that inside section to step up. There she is, a nice little quick snap there. Taking this one to the end, and it looks like our heat leader took priority on that last one and shut the door on the other competitors in the dying seconds there.
Yeah, that looks like it. So it'll be the red and white that go through. That is Shino and Sarah. So in the meantime, we will be taking a short break, and we'll be coming back into Heat 3 of round of 16.
All right, here we are back in action down at the beautiful San Juan Point. Out there in the out in the water, we have Kalani Johnson from Indonesia. Oh dear. Sai Manawa from Japan in blue. Anon Matsuoka in white, and Daisy Valdez in green. You'll see it come up as Daisy Narita on the screen there. This was our local lass, Daisy Valdez. She was one of the longboard riders who was in yesterday's longboard event, bowing out in the semi-finals, and Surfing Blue up and riding, getting things started nice and early, only 2 minutes in. Some surfers like to get that early start, sort of helps wash off the nerves. Others like to maybe sit and wait a little bit longer, depending on their strategic plan, and also if that wave shows up, of course, you're going to hop on, because the one you don't catch is the one you don't get scored for. So there is Minawa's first wave, dropping into 3.25. Judges not taking too long to lock that score in. Beautiful day down here at San Juan, La Union. We would like to thank our major sponsors, Next Gen Philippines, Department of Tourism, the provincial government of La Union, and San Miguel Infrastructures. Thank you to our minor sponsors, PLDT and Smart, for the internet connection. Thank you to our provincial government of La Union, the Honourable Governor Rafi Ortega, the LGU of San Juan. I went there already, didn't I? Volkswagen's Philippines. Thank you to Red Bull. Gives You Wings. Thank you to Hooray Sunset Hill and Restaurant. Clean Beach, San Juan Surf Resort, Alima, Sabong Fried Chicken, Surftown La Union, Tapugan, San Juan, Warung Local, Zero Water, Kermit's, Seabuds, La Cantina, and Line Up Bistro. Okay, we are going to send it down to Tippy Jabrick on the beach with the winner of our last heat, Shino Matsuoda.
Opening heat of the day, we have Shino Matsuda taking that one. I have to say that was really strong, an 8.5, yes? Tell me a little bit the condition out there, Shino.
It was really hard condition out there because it's windy, but I'm so happy to get 8.5 at the beginning of my heat.
So you were on your backside today, but I don't see that you have much trouble to get that 8.5. Do you think the condition today is better for backside? Do you think?
I don't know, but if I could get good one, I could turn this wave, so maybe good for me.
So you said you're from Kanagawa. Is condition today similar like home, or is it better, or home is better?
It's little bit similar. When the windy, my hometown is kind of like this. So yeah, I like this. Yeah, it's similar.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your board. You're riding a YU today, huh? What size and who shipped it?
This is from Ueda-san. Yeah, and this is 5.6 PU.
So you always ride a 5.6?
Yeah, 5.6 or 5.7.
Okay, you want to say anything to your family back home? I know you're traveling with your mom, but maybe say hello to the family and thank you, your sponsor.
日本から応援してくださっている皆様、応援ありがとうございます。次のラウンドも頑張るので応援よろしくお願いします。
That was Shino Matsuda moving into round of quarterfinal. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tippy. Here I am with Luke Landrigan on the call.
Morning, John. Swell is here.
The swell is here. Yeah,
with a bit of a wind.
With a little bit of a wind, you can probably hear it. Here we go. We got a replay. This is our surfer in blue.
This is Sai Maniwa from
This
Japan.
was that very fast opening wave.
In this heat, we also have local hero, Daisy Valdez. Here we go, surfer in white. Anon Matsuoka from Japan.
This
Just
is a
trying
little
to milk it in.
bit of a replay. Here we go. We've got some scores dropping in. That was a 4.2 from White, and there's Red. Everyone around the same ballpark, but Red getting the best of the exchange. Kalani, great surfer. Daisy sitting out there, the only one yet to get off the board.
Yeah, Daisy was in
There she goes.
the semi-finals of the longboard yesterday. Here we go, Daisy Valdez.
Ooh. Where'd we lose? We lost her. Did she complete that ride or did she not complete that ride? Maybe the cameraman blew over. It is windy down here, isn't it? Think it's gonna settle down, or do you think we're gonna have a little bit more wind throughout the day?
Yeah, the swell is gonna bring the wind too, or the wind will bring the swell.
Here we are. She goes for the section, and it's not a complete move. So Daisy sending it there for that. Seeing earlier Shino got her huge score by sending a massive vertical backhand snap, which was really impressive.
Yeah, highest so far 8.5. That was Shino Matsuda.
Yeah, it was
Previous
good.
heat.
Showing that these conditions, there is a rhythm and there is a way to get some really good scores out there. Sarah also going through in second place there behind her. Also a nice score. Going at it a little bit different, but great scores from both of those girls going through, so congratulations.
So we'll finish round of 16 for women's today and go straight to men's round of 32. So it's gonna be a full day of action.
What do you think? We're going to keep building up this swell with the tide coming in. What's your
think
thoughts?
We'll keep on running it while it's still. Surfers are still getting an 8s and 5s and 6s, because maybe tomorrow, maybe it could be super blown out and too big.
Ooh.
So yeah, we'll run as much heats.
What do you think
today.
with the tide coming in? The conditions might improve. Will the point handle it a little bit better with the swell increasing and the tide pushing in?
Yeah, I think when the high tide comes in, it will be a longer wave.
It's still something I'm coming to terms with. The only two tides for the day. Here comes Surfer in Blue. She's on a nice looking inside runner. Getting to work there, looking for this section that's sort of linking up, standing up in the bay.
Yeah,
two turns, kicking out.
Where these girls are sitting now, it's actually closer to the channel. There you go, Surfer in White. Surfer in White went left.
I haven't seen too many.
Here we go, Surfer in Red. Kailani Johnson
Kalani Johnson,
from Indonesia.
very strong, powerful surfer. Great style. Knows how to get some scores. Knows how to ride a wave. She's always a pleasure to watch Kalani surf. Out there in free surfs too, she gets even freer with the movements. It's so impressive watching Kalani surf when she's having a good time and starting to link things up. So, oh, paddle battle. Once again, very important to be in a priority situation out there. It looks like Anon is pushing Sai out here. Strong paddling. Look at her. She's streaking a metre ahead of her. We're going to have Georgie May stepping into the booth to sort of put a few calls in. You're going to jump out for this one, Luke, and maybe step in on the next one. While I bring Georgie May. Come on in, Georgie May. I was having a discussion with her dad yesterday about, and Georgie, of course, about what we should call her. And to honour Mum, we're going to call her Georgie May so we don't get in trouble from Mum, because that would be a little bit unfortunate. Or we could also go with My May, but we'll stick with Georgie May, okay?
Yep, sounds good.
Let's get your professional name out there and rolling. Georgie May Hicks, a great up-and-coming young talent, and good to have you back here in the booth. Here's a replay of Blue on her second wave. This was sort of a 2 to 3 wave, and then she kicked on out of there. It dropped in at a 3.25. She's got a pair of 3.25s out there. How's the conditions out there, Georgia? You bowed out in that last heat. How are you feeling?
Yeah, obviously a bit deflated. It's really tricky. It's wind swell, you know, but there's still opportunities. I mean, one of the girls in my heat, she got an 8.5, I think, so that's still plenty of potential there. So yeah, still lots of opportunity. I made a few mistakes, and yeah, lots to learn from.
I did notice you sort of sat down there towards, closer towards the bay where you're trying to pick off those ones that sort of walled up a little bit on those last dying minutes when you were sort of missing priority.
Yeah, I was in last priority, and the girls are kind of sitting a bit deep, and I saw some of them coming through and lining up, and unfortunately I just couldn't find one there at the end. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Yep. And you're 16 years old. That's right. So you've got a lot ahead of you.
Yes.
You're looking forward, where I'm at the point where I'm starting to look backwards. But like I said, a bright future. I think we're going to jump. So here I am sitting with Georgie Hicks. You got any sponsors you want to shout out to?
Yeah, to Live, FK. Big shout out to Chili Surfboards. Big shout out to all my friends watching, all my family, my coaches, everyone. Thank you guys for the support. Couldn't really pull it out in that last heat, but that's okay. Lots of learning, and I'm overall happy with my performance in the free surfs in the first heat, and yeah, onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, never looking back, huh?
Yep.
Well, it's all learning at your stage, and it's good you got a good support crew behind you there. Chili Surfboards, I'm sitting here looking at the one and only Tippy Dabrick, one of the Chili Surfboard founders, and great boards, like I said. One of my favourite boards I ever had was I jumped on a Chili Faded, took it out to Cloud 9, and it just did its job, which is all you want from a surfboard.
Exactly.
So good equipment under your feet, good team behind you. It does make all the difference. And your dad, shout out to your dad.
Shout out to my dad, partner in crime, coming into these events. He's the best non-surfer coach you'll ever get.
I know, and the thing is, he's got the surfer image. It's confusing because I'm looking at him yesterday and he's telling me he doesn't surf and he's not that interested in it. It's like, but you've got everything. You look like a surfer.
Yeah.
I think he was
Play the part.
He was telling me a story where he tried to jump out and pretend to be a surfer one day and got absolutely destroyed out at Cloudbreak of all places.
Oh my God.
Not somewhere where you're generally going to try to take up the sport.
Oh no.
Anyway, let's see what's going on out here. Our surfer in white, Anon Mituoka, ripping this one apart.
Looks like she's riding an epoxy out there. Interesting choice. But yeah, she's been ripping all event.
What do you think's the big benefits of, obviously you're riding a PU out there. What do you think the difference between a PU and epoxy might be out there?
I mean, it can kind of go both ways. I kind of see why she's riding epoxy, because there's a few flat spots out there, so that board will just kind of push through it. But it's tough when you hit a bump and you just really got to plant your feet. But I can see the benefits and the negatives of both sides. But look, she's in second place, so she's doing her job with 10 minutes to go.
Absolutely. At 10 minutes and 16 seconds, we have Kalani Johnson out in first place. Nothing major yet. She's got 2 4.50s, one of those interesting sort of setups. There's a few double scores going on there. Actually, across the board, we got Anon Matsuoka with a 4.25 and a 4.25. And then in third, we have Sai Minawa with a 3.25 and a 3.25. Pretty interesting little score line down there. So not too much separating the field apart from Daisy. He's a left-hander. And a goofy footer snap.
Oh my God. That was nice.
This will be interesting to see where the judges are going to go with that, because that was a pretty intentional destruction of that wave's face then.
Yeah, it was high risk, just one turn, and we've seen the one turn score quite highly today, so I think that'll be a good number for her.
I think so, and yeah,
Bang.
she gave it. She definitely hit that section, and on the left of all things. We've seen a lot of goofy footers look for the left. We haven't seen many natural footers looking for the left. There it is.
Wow.
We've got a few little glitches going on our on-screen scoring. There it is, dropping in at a 4.65. So that single maneuver got her the highest single wave score so far, 4.65. Is that what you were looking for out there, or were you looking for the combination? Here's Daisy.
Oh, just hanging on there. Oh.
She got a little tangle up in the leg rope there. I think she had to adjust and get her foot clear. She's not going to like that.
Yeah, honestly, I was just looking for anything that would give me a section, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's funny because I was saying to the boys downstairs, like, some of them I was just thinking, why are you paddling on this wave? And it just would line up perfectly down the line. And it's all about wave selection and having a bit of luck on your side. But the girls definitely showing that it's definitely contestable out there.
Yeah, they're making it look very good. That's why this thing was caught on. I was saying this morning, it's very different. It's almost a different beach to what we've been at for the last 4 days of competition. We've been waking up. We've been waking up to pristine conditions and a pretty clean point.
Yeah.
And like you say, this could be a point break at any beach around the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Which could be a good reason the Japanese are really sort of showing what they can do, because this is their Monday to Friday.
And Saturday to Sunday.
I was going to give them the weekend off. Every professional needs a break. Where's your home beach? Remind us.
Legian. So the Seminyak kind of area. Shout out to all the Legian board riders back home. Here we go, Kailani, who's actually Legian board riders as well, up and riding. Just seeing if this one's going to give her something on the inside. She's got a 4.25. It's a high score, I think. And yeah, I don't know if that will go into her top 2, but just feeling it out. And that's what it is out there. It's just going, getting waves.
It is, and like you were saying before, these girls I think there's a lot of luck in there at the moment, picking that right one that does reform in the bay, because like I said, we haven't had these conditions. Were you out there this morning for a free surf?
Oh yeah, I was out there for a while, and it was a bit glassy in the morning, and then the wind just came on. But it's changing every 30 minutes, so it's just being able to adapt.
It is. That's sort of why we love our sport, right? As heartbreaking as it is sometimes, there's a lot of natural element to it, which is unlike any other sport in the world, where sometimes it's just your time to get that wave, but unfortunately that also means, in your case, like it was, sometimes it's not your time and you just can't get that rhythm, you can't find the groove.
Exactly.
Spending a lot more time in the ocean and figuring out, and you see people like the GOAT himself, Kelly Slater, John Florence, they don't seem to have these issues. They'll sit there and that 10-point ride will just break on them, which is great to see. Here's Daisy Valdez hoping to get herself out of her current 1.4 and an 8.5, and I think she's done that. But she's definitely not having a great time out there. Swell building, wind building, excitement building.
Yes.
Like I said, at least it's a fair playing field for everybody out there. It's another advantage of our sport. If it's tricky for you, it's tricky for everybody. And you can hear that wind probably ripping through the microphone. Chances are, here's Daisy's replay. Talk us through it.
Yeah, just looking at this one, she's obviously really wanting to find a lip, because that's what the judges are looking for in terms of scores, and just kind of fizzles out towards the end there. She'll have a bit of a paddle to get back out the back. With just 5 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, Kailani in first.
She's not needing a big score, only a 4.7, which is very, very achievable out there for that we've seen from these last few heats.
Oh, here we go, a left.
That's a nice looking left.
It
Anon
is.
taking maybe a page out of Sai's book on that left-hander she got before.
Yeah, I've Anon in the free surf. She's been going left a few times and just banking it 1 or 2 times, so she's definitely got that in her back pocket, but that one just not really allowing her to do that. All really close in scores in this heat.
Very glad. That's a nice looking wave. It really doesn't give her too much opportunity. It's just one little quick. I don't think that's going to go towards her 4.25s, but I've been wrong before. She's actually currently in 3rd place. There's a bit going on with our board here in front of us at the moment, so we're sort of juggling between the TV and the board to see who's in 1st and 2nd place. Currently, our surfer in red, who's up and riding, is holding 1st place with an 8.2, looking to improve on her score. I don't think that's going to happen with that. It's wild out there.
It's wild. Score, all different types of scores, lots of different types of waves being ridden. It's all about the ones if you hit it in the pocket, keeps going, then you'll be looking for a score. But yeah, very exciting heat. It's all kind of just really tight scores. They've all, you know, with 3 minutes 30 seconds, anyone's got a shot at this point.
It's well within reach. The top score is only an 8.2 and our bottom score is a 4.6, so it's only a 4-point spread, basically less than a 4-point spread at 3.6 if my maths is correct, which I can guarantee it's not.
Don't ask me. I'm not good at maths.
Just trust me then. I will just say it is okay. But there's still 3 minutes, and with waves like this, you can still get that good score from the edge. It looks like that's...
It's like white.
Daisy in... Oh, no, not Daisy.
Oh,
it
Anna.
is white. It is Anna. That looks like a good-looking
Wow.
wave.
Come on, line up for her. Bang. Keep going.
And she wasn't too far out for this one, yet it is linking through to the bay. The judges are going to have to possibly bend their necks a little bit further than normal to see where this thing finishes. So she's currently in second place. She's trying to get herself into... How important is it out there when you're in second place? You feel a little bit vulnerable because you know at any stage you can be the one bumped down into third as opposed to jumping up into that first place. Is it a relief, especially with these dying last 5 minutes?
It's not.
It's
even
not?
if you're in first, until that hooter sounds, you're always just got to keep going, keep your head down. You don't know what could happen, especially if you don't have priority.
Yep.
Here we go. Sai, just a bit of a flat section there. Just can't hang on to that last turn. And on. Into first.
Looks like that last one was enough. She did take it from sort of not all the way out. Like I said, it's not necessarily where you're sitting, it's what you're catching. Here's Blue's replay. She's in third position, probably looking for a pretty large requirement at this stage, and I don't think that's going to be anything impressive to catch these two. If she had completed that last turn, maybe, and now Kalani's up and riding.
Looked like a nice first turn from Kai. Oh, this one might link up for her here on the inside. She's just wiggling her way through it,
She's
looking
just
for a finish.
attacking those points turn by turn by turn.
She's applying the pressure.
They said she's got one of those really great natural styles. Steph Gilmore like style body type, nice, strong, powerful, and you can see when she gets up, she's got that natural style. So immediately,
strong stance.
Strong stance. You know she's not going to get knocked over by any small little bits of fluffy whitewash. She's the goofy Indonesia version of Steph Gilmore, maybe.
Oh yeah.
And look at her, she's working away at this one. There we go. She has jumped back up into first with that wave. So 30 seconds to go. There's a whole swag of women out there surfing. We got the next heat paddling out. They've got a little bit more time to paddle out because the current could be picking up with the swell and the wind. So the head judge, Ty, giving them plenty of opportunity to get out there. Here's Daisy Valdez having a late swing, still within striking range, but definitely not going to be enough. We've got our running off our beach commentator, 10 seconds. I believe we're going to wind up with Kalani Johnson in first place and Anon Matsuoka in second place. I'll get down there on the beach and catch up with Kalani soon. We'll take a quick break and be right back. I think you're going to hang out, Georgie May.
Yeah, I'll
Maybe
hang out.
Chat about the next one. We'll be right back.
And we're back. This is Heat 4 of the women's round of 16. Yeah. So we have Nanaho Suzuki from Japan, Jasmine Shooter from Indonesia, Rina Matsunaga from Japan, and Taina from Indonesia. Hi George, how are
Hello.
you?
I'm good, thank you. This will be a very exciting heat. Two of our Indonesian representatives, Taina and Jasmine, rooting for you girls. Obviously, a lot of talent in this heat, some tough conditions out there, but yeah, the girls are definitely going to be putting on a show for sure.
Yeah, so George, you live in Bali now?
Yes, I
Nice.
do. Lived in Bali for 10 years and have kind of grown up with all these girls, just like Taina up and riding then. Here we go. Nanaho up and riding with that epoxy board, looking spicy out there.
They seem to be sitting further towards the channel because of that second peak right there, and the current's pretty strong too. The current and the wind, yeah, they're pushing all the girls. That's why they're non-stop paddling just to be in the right position. So when the wave comes, they're in that same spot. Otherwise, if they stop paddling, they're gonna get pushed in through the channel. So which is your favorite spot in Bali?
Obviously the home break, Legian, but love the Bukit area. I mean, I'm a goofy living in Indonesia, so
That's a dream.
it is a dream, definitely. But it's obviously really fun to put my backhand into play, especially at these amazing point breaks here in La Union. But obviously looking a bit like a beach break today, but
Yeah,
that's
'cause of
okay.
the wind. So we have John Carby down there with the last heat winners. Down to you, John.
Okay, here I am with last heat winner Kailani Johnson booking herself a spot into the quarterfinals. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, well, I free surfed this morning and the conditions are a little tricky.
You
so
surf with her a lot?
I was just
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of looking for big sections to do some turns, and I feel really good about making it through that heat.
It was one of those heats where you go in with a game plan and you want to go out with a clear win, but the conditions just didn't allow it. So how was it? It's more of that grovel fight and you just hope you're doing enough and the other girls aren't finding it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this morning I was thinking to myself, like, okay, which waves am I going to go on in my heat? Which ones are the best? And I kind of realized, like, no one really knows which ones are the best. You kind of are just rolling the dice. So heats like this really come down to intuition.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did enough. There was a few little heat changes back and forth over there, a bit of a tennis match going on. That last one sort of got you back into the lead in that last dying minutes. That must have felt good and a little bit more comfortable with 30 seconds to go, knowing you got that lead again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, after that wave, I didn't hear the score yet, and I saw that Sai, who's a really good competitor, needed a small score, so I stayed on her. But then after my last wave, I moved back into the lead, and it feels good. Like, you definitely leave with a bit more confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. You were out there. Also with the local girl, a little bit worried about that local knowledge, and were you keeping an eye on Daisy out there the whole time?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Daisy is from here, and she's a really good surfer, so I mean, everyone here surfs amazing, but out there, I couldn't even keep an eye on anyone. It was just whitewash everywhere, so I was just kind of doing the best I could.
Speaking, let's look at your equipment you've got. Let's talk about your board. What is it? What size? And then all those fancy stickers you got on there.
Yeah, well, I just want to thank my sponsors, first of all, for helping me go to this event. And I'm kind of riding a mixture of boards right now. I have a couple Sharp Eyes. This is a Mayhem 5.8, really good grovel board that I've tried in a bunch of different conditions, and it seems to work super well out here. So.
Yeah, it suits you, put it that way. Would you like to shout out back home? I'm actually up there commentating with Georgie May Hicks, one of your good friends, up in the booth, and she was co-commentating your heat up there. Do you want to shout out to home and your friends back there?
Yeah, big shout out to my family. Terima kasih semua yang dari Bali yang nonton dan dukung saya. Udah lama saya nggak di Bali, but I can feel the support dari Philippines. From here, I can feel the support, so I'm really stoked to be where I'm from.
Yeah, and you are a crowd favourite down here. Always walking around with a big smile. Look forward to seeing you get through into that next quarterfinal. Can't wait to see what you can do out there. So thank you very much. We'll get back to you, Luke and Georgie.
Thank you, John. So that's Kailani, last heat's winner. So you guys have a like a tight group of Indonesian contingency, almost traveling around in this QS event, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. And here's one of them, Tina, up and riding. A few nice calves there. She's sitting in that second spot with 18 minutes and 15 seconds to go. But yeah, I kind of grew up in Bali, and you know, Tina and Kailani and Hayana and Pua, I could name so many. They were all kind of at their, you know, just peak of competitiveness. They still are now. So it was really inspiring to kind of grow up and watch them surf and represent, you know, the flag. And they, all of them absolutely rip, and very nice people in and out of the water. So yeah, very good.
Nice. Here's a replay of Tina's last wave. Strong surfing from the surfer from Bali. I believe Tina was here during the SEA Games. Yeah, I think I remember she was representing Indonesia for the Southeast Asian Games 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So how was it out there? Bit rough, yeah?
Definitely. Yeah, it's really, really tricky. There's loads of flat spots. You know, there's times you got to race. Like Kai said, she put it perfectly. It's just by intuition, following your intuition, rolling the dice, and seeing how you go. And in my heat personally, I did put a bit on the line and was a bit risky, looking for a big reward, which may have been a mistake. But you just got to pay the price.
Yeah, that's surfing. That's competitive surfing, true. So what? Here's surfer in red. Oh, nice, good snap.
Looks
Nice
like
wrap.
these epoxies have been going well out there in these conditions.
Were you riding an epoxy or a
No,
EPA?
I was riding a PU out there.
Do you normally ride with your PU?
I kind of mix in between. Actually, the board I'm riding at the moment, it's like my step up, but I just kind of picked it up whilst I was here, and I really liked the feel of it, and I've just kind of stuck with it and stuck with my gut. Yeah.
Here's a replay of surfer in red. Nanaho Suzuki. Nice wrap.
She's got so much spring, so much power. Even that, it's just like throwing spray from not much of a section.
Yeah, there's the lineup. We could see a lot of wind. Thanks to our major sponsors, Next Gen Philippines, Department of Tourism Region 1. Shout out to our fellow La Union surfer, Regional Director Jeff Ortega for the Department of Tourism, Provincial Government of La Union, the local government of San Juan, La Union, San Miguel Infrastructure, PLDT and Smart, Volkswagen, and Red Bull. Yeah, a lot of time. There's 15 minutes left. So currently sitting in first, we have surfer in green and surfer in red in second, and in white. White only needs a 1.6, and surfer in blue needs a 5.25. I see a familiar name there from Bali, Jasmine Studer. Studer.
Yeah, Jasmine, she's one of my close friends. She absolutely rips. We recently just went on a trip to Lakey's together a few weeks back, and we've had a lot of heats together, and we'll continue to. So rooting for her as well in this heat. She's got a 0.65, needs a 5.25 to advance, and she's definitely capable of it. And with 14 minutes 30 seconds to go, anything can happen. These types of conditions. Looks like white. Oh, not going for that one.
So what's next on your schedule after this QS?
After this QS, there'll be a couple, obviously, local contests back home in Bali. There's 2 events in Australia coming up, which will be very exciting. got a couple trips planned, and yeah, just looking to re-qualify for the junior team for the ISA for this year. That's my kind of main goal at the moment for the UK. But yeah, just lots of learning. I'm very fresh to the QS, so it's been very exciting. It definitely takes you to some pretty amazing places, like here in La Union.
Nice. So you represent the UK, right?
Yes.
When you're joining the ISA games, and yeah, seems like you have a packed schedule ahead of you already.
Packed
It's only the
schedule.
first month of the year, and you're already. So do you usually travel with your dad around, or you travel with a team?
Yeah, it's usually me and my dad. Pretty good team going on there. But yeah, no, lots of support that I'm very, very, very grateful for. But obviously, you know, all the Bali crews down here, and you make so many new friends as well. Being on the QS, looks like Jazz rolling into this one, just not gonna get it, and she'll lose her priority, I think. Ooh, bit of a mistake there for Jazz, but again, it looks like it's gonna bowl up, and it just doesn't sometimes, and that's how it goes.
How
out
young
there.
is Jazz?
I think Jazz is 13 or 14.
Oh,
So
young, yeah.
yeah, she's young. She's definitely up and coming for Indonesia. And her dad, Luke Studer, shaping her some serious equipment.
So her mom's Indonesian.
Yes,
her
her mum's here at the moment. Lovely lady. Oh, and again, just shows you just got to be really, really smart, and when you paddle, you got to know that the wave's going to bowl up enough so you can really get on it.
So the two surfer who had priority and first priority just lost both of their priorities. Now they're sitting on second and fourth.
Yep, so with around 12 minutes to go, Taina is winning this heat currently with priority. That's the ideal situation for sure.
So after this, we're going straight into the round of 32 for the men's. So we'll have Ketut, we have Made Ariana, we have Varun Tanjung, and Kyrie Noro. 3 Indo and 1 Japanese. Let me check that.
Here we go, Jazz up and riding. I don't know if this one's gonna give it to her. She's just kind of working her way through, just trying to find something from this wave. Looks like it might bowl up, just not providing what she needs there. Here we go, White up and riding, in the pocket surfing. Nice hit at the end there. She'll be happy with that one. Still going. Looking for this one to bowl on the inside.
You know, sometimes when the waves are bigger, you can catch a bigger set from there and ride it straight to the beach break.
Yep, that's what I was trying to do in my heat when I had fourth priority, is just sit there. But unfortunately, that didn't really come through. Here's a replay from Jazz, just working her way through, just trying to find something that's just going to stand up for her. She's not giving up in this heat. But a really nice first turn there for White. Nice combination. I reckon this would be a really nice score, throwing lots of spray and getting it right through to the inside.
Yeah, so we're expecting more winds to come and hopefully a bigger swell too. So it's going to be an exciting next few days for this comp.
So White, was that a 6.5 for her for that wave, I think? Yeah, so...
Yeah, it is a 6.5.
Wow. Yeah, so the judges rewarded her. She was in the pocket surfing. There wasn't much downtime where she was pumping down the line. It was one turn to the next. which the judges are looking for definitely in these conditions.
Very well connected maneuvers from one to the next. Good flow. That's pretty challenging, really, conditions out there.
Yeah, and you will get rewarded if you can pull that off.
We see the men's heat paddling out now towards the right side of the point. They prefer to paddle down there because the current's really pushing them super strong to where these girls are sitting now or paddling out now. Yeah, see those girls just continuously paddling for position.
Yeah. So it looks like white in first, green in second, red in third, and blue in fourth. But blue not chasing that much, neither red with 8 minutes to go. Looks like that was green. Here we go. Blue up and riding, doesn't need much, just looking for something down the line here. And yep, she wants it, she's going for it. This might stand up for her. She needs to get some turns going to really get the points. Here we go. Nice turn right in the pocket there for Jasmine. Nice hit there as well. What do you think?
Ooh, I think she has to ride that in front of the whitewash.
Yes, I don't think that was a completed...
Only needs a 3.26. There's a lot of downtown in this.
Yep. If only this wave just stood up on that outside section. Looks like it all kind of came from that inside, and she managed to get a nice little carve in there and an uncompleted finish, but she's only requiring a 3.26, I think.
White in first, green in second, red needs a 2.36, blue needs a 3.26. Red has priority, so red has priority, and red looking for a 2.36. White second priority, green third priority.
Here we go, Surfer in red currently in third place. Surfer in red only needs a 2.36.
That was a nice first hit there, and it looks like this wave may connect to the inside. She's still going. Oh my god, she might get the score for this one. Just wrapping it back to the power source.
Nice big hit in the outside.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think she'll get it.
She'll get it, yeah. So all surfers kind of sitting in a vulnerable position at the moment, but that was a really big and critical first turn there for red. Yeah, she's ripping. So no one's sitting out there comfortable. Everyone's trying to get waves and trying to get scores. It's actually really hard to hear when you're out there, so you don't really know of your position. You're kind of rolling the dice.
There you go.
Situation change.
I think she gets it.
Red was a 5.45,
Wow.
so red is in second.
Her last wave of 5.45 now moves her into second place. Now Surfer in green. Surfer in...
Green, you are now third. You need a 4.76.
Yeah, so the judges really liked that first big hit of red. Just taking it all the way into the inside. Lots of flow. Even there was a few cutbacks there on the inside. Just so much flow, and yeah, I think a lot of those points came from that first big hit on the outside for sure. The judges really liking that.
So now Surfer in green needs a 4.76, and Surfer in blue needs a 6.35.
Blue, you need a 6.35. Priority is green.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think they're hearing it, huh?
Nope. I couldn't hear when I was out there.
Yeah, the wind is so strong.
It's so strong.
So thanks to our local sponsors, Hiraya Sunset Hill and Restaurant, Clean Beach, San Juan Surf Resort, Alima, Sabong Fried Chicken, Surf Town La Union, Tagpuan, Warung Local, Zera Water, Kermit, Seabuds, La Cantina, and Lineup Bistro. Thank you guys for providing our delicious lunch and snacks. So yeah, under 4 minutes.
Looks like Green's paddling for a wave here. I think she needs a
7.6.
7.6, yeah. Nice turn on the outside and just a few carves. Just really wants to hit this. This might line up for her. Nice turn again on the inside there. She really wants this finish here to get this number. Just making her way through. Definitely going to be tight. What do you think about that one?
Lucky I'm not a judge.
Yeah, exactly.
Here
so
we go.
we'll see the replay again. There was no major hits on this wave. Just really nice carves, you know, back and forth on her backside. She has a really nice style tiner.
Just look a bit redundant, yeah?
Yeah. Looks like this wave was actually going to stand up and bowl on the inside, but doesn't. And she'll be scratching her way out the back to just get another shot, even if she gets a score. If she doesn't, that's just kind of, you know, how it works, especially when you can't hear anything out there. But judges definitely will be.
Green was looking for a 4.76. Green, your last wave, a 4.85.
Wow.
Oh, she gets
she
it.
gets the score.
A 4.85.
Wow.
Wow. Now red needs a 3.75. 2 minutes to go.
Red only needing a 3.75. Very capable of doing that. We saw her last wave, which was a 5.45. That was really solid surfing. So all these ladies very capable of all their numbers required to advance to the next round. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Looks like there might be some waves approaching out the back with this wind swell coming in.
So after this, we'll have the men's round of 32. We have surfer in red, Ketut from Indonesia, Ketut Agus. In blue, we have Madi Ariana from Indonesia, surfer in white, Varun Tanjung from Indonesia, and surfer in green, Kairi Noro from Japan. Under 1 minute left. Let's see.
1 minute to go. White with priority. Jasmine Studer was second priority. Nanaho third, and Taina in fourth. Nanaho only looking for a 3.75 to advance. Looks like Jazz may be looking in this one. Oh, just not getting that. That one actually looked like it bowled up quite nicely there. But yeah, she'll lose her priority for that one, unfortunately. With just 20 seconds remaining, definitely Nanaho is just looking for anything at this point to try and get that score. Just 10 seconds here remaining. Looks like she's going to have a shot at it.
Surfer in red.
This may have a nice section to hit
Only
here.
needs a 3.75. Oh.
Wow, so got the wave, but just didn't have the speed to hit it. Yeah, a bit of an upset there for Nanaho. She'll be pretty deflated by that one, but yeah, it looks like we had white and green getting through.
There you go. That's the last heat for round of 16 for the women's shortboard. We'll be right back after the break.
everyone, and welcome back to the La Union International Pro Wild and Woolly Day here at Mona Lisa Point. Chris Binns in the booth alongside me, Georgie May, and you just surfed. How is it out there?
Yeah, it's tricky. Definitely point break gone beach break, but there's still plenty of opportunity. There's some pretty solid scores being thrown down by the women, but here we go. Heat 1 of the round of 32. Looks like Varun Tanjun up and riding from Indonesia. This one might ball on the inside. Hits it, just falls there.
Yeah, so 3 Bali boys, I think.
Yes.
Ketut Agus, Varun Tanjung, Amade Ariana. And they're coming up against Japanese surfer Kairi Noro. And what do you know about the 3 Indonesian lads?
Oh yeah, all of them rip. We all kind of, obviously, all living in Bali, we all kind of see each other in sessions, so all very inspiring lads, and good to see them riffing in Bali and taking it here to the QS, and yeah, definitely going to see an Indonesian going through to this next heat, but Red up and riding, a really big turn there for Ketut.
Yeah, release the tail, that was really cool. Look, conditions are messy, but we're seeing the swell just continue to pick up throughout the day. And to be honest, I don't think anyone will be too upset because it's giving plenty of sections up. There's little corners and wedges coming at you the whole time. And, you know, instead of having to force manoeuvres, now you can let the wave come to you and just deal with whatever's in front. So I think we're in for a fun afternoon. Run us through these guys individually as we see Ketut get a 5 for his opening score.
Ketut is the halfway legend. He can surf.
Hang on, that doesn't mean he's halfway a legend. He's a full legend, but he's from halfway.
He's from halfway, yes, sorry. He is, yeah, he's Ketut representing halfway Kuta board riders. He can surf a 1-foot wave as good as a 5-foot wave. He absolutely rips. Varun Tanjun, obviously son to Rizal, so very talented surfer as well. And Aimade Ariana, also very talented. All these boys just absolutely rip. So it's exciting. It's exciting to have them all in, you know, the one heat.
Yeah, Ketut Agus competed at World Juniors in Taiwan a few years ago alongside Rio Wider. And we've since seen Rio go on to qualify for the championship tour. So the Indonesian push is very strong.
Yeah.
With this being an Asian WSL event, obviously most of the competitors are either Indonesian, Japanese or Filipino, but you don't have to be from those regions to compete, much like yourself surfing under the British flag. You surfing a British flag or English flag?
English.
As long as you nominate a region that you want to surf in. So, for example, Annie Dos Santos, Brazilian surfer who's living in Australia these days, she's competing on the Australian tour. And then we're seeing plenty of Europeans basing themselves in Bali and competing in the Asian leagues these days as well. All right, first score in for Ketut was a 5. First score for Varun, just a 1.75. Yeah, that's the turn of the heat so far.
Definitely. The judges really liking that vertical approach. I reckon that 5 just came from that first big hit, just taking it through all the way to the inside, speed, power and flow. It's what, if you can do that in these conditions, you will definitely get rewarded.
And up next, the Indonesian push continues with Oni Anwar from Lakey Peak, Sumbawa, taking on 2 Japanese, Kaiki Yamanaka and Hiroto Arai. Noah Arkveld flying the Filipino flag in that one. And Oni and Hiroto, probably the 2 biggest names in that heat. Oni is an incredible statesman for Indonesian surfing, and Hiroto Arai has been surfing on the qualifying series for a long, long time now. Another one of those guys who competed on World Juniors way back in the day. So he's been in the surfing consciousness for a long time. What have you been up to the last couple of lay days, Georgie May? Been exploring a little bit?
Exploring. I played a bit of golf with Dad a few days ago. Yeah, just exploring around. La Union's a pretty cool place, some really nice restaurants as well. Here we go, Blue up and riding. Just not landing that last turn there on the inside. But yeah, as I was saying, La Union's such a cool place to visit. There's a lot to do. The people are so lovely. The waves are really fun, even when it's kind of, you know, on shore like this.
Okay, last score comes in for Aimade Ariana at a 3. And just while we have a little break in the action, we're going to cross down to Tipi Jabrik, who's with the winner of the last heat, Rina Matsunaga. Take it away, Tipi.
I'm here with Rina Matsunaga. So, winner of last heats. How was it out there? Is it tough? Is it fun? What is it? Tell me a little bit.
It was difficult for me. Actually, I injured my tailbone 2 weeks ago, still in pain, you know, so I was really...
How did you
Just like a quick check on Instagram.
Leaf hit. Hawaii.
Wow, so Rina just came back from Hawaii, hit her tailbone, and come here to win her heat. So, is it it's a bit different. Where's your hometown? Is it something like this where you surf?
I think it's similar. Onjuku, hometown Onjuku, similar. In Chiba, yeah. Similar way.
Yeah, when the typhoon comes, there's a lot of wind, there's a lot of chop, so you are familiar with this wave. So, are you looking forward for bigger condition, or you are looking for cleaner condition in La Union? What are you looking forward in this event?
Clean condition. Yeah, I really like clean condition, grassy, like, yeah. I don't like this condition.
So you take down, I think you have Taina Esquierdo. Taina was second. Do you know anything about Taina?
Taina is really like cute, cute.
And you would like to say anything to friends and family back home, sponsor?
いつも応援ありがとうございます。次も頑張るので応援よろしくお願いします。Thank you.
That was Rina Matsunaga moving on to quarterfinal. So hopefully conditions getting better, and back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Tipi Jabrik. And not sure if we've got any more scores to come in. It's still Katut Agus in the lead with a 5-point ride at this stage of the game. And for anyone who's just tuned in, we're seeing the leading edge of some weather starting to hit here in San Juan, and we're going to get huge waves over the next few days. There will be plenty of wind as well. The wind you're seeing on screen at the moment is going from the right to the left. It's a northerly, northwest, so it's pretty onshore. It's a bit of a cross shore. I don't think that'll stop some of the boys if they get the right section to throw a couple of punts up. It's not a particularly favourable air wind, but they won't be afraid of it these days. There doesn't seem to be a bad air wind, and that's what grabs were invented for, as we're just getting shuffled inside out of the wind. Okay, here goes Kairi Noro in green. Japanese surfer dealing with a pretty unruly looking wave there. He did almost like a water skiing turn on flat water. Katut Agus quickly in and out. So lots of squalls starting to hit now.
Yep, with 14 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Obviously a lot of time, and all these men are very, very capable of getting the scores required to advance. Looks like Vaughan's sitting with first priority and Pajar sitting with second. Katut currently in first place, Pajar in second.
Yeah, here goes Varun. He's got some work to do, but he's found a good-looking wave. He's been surfing all up and down the beach the last couple of days, staying pretty busy with his mates Bronson Mady. He's been surfing with Oni a little bit as well. and he is out of there.
Yeah, you can hear the applause from the beach from his family and the crew he's traveling with, the Tanjun family. Yeah, I really liked that wave. I thought he hit the sections well. There was not too much downtime. It was just pretty one maneuver to the next, and the sections just kind of kept building for him.
Yeah, he kept his speed. Didn't really have to work too hard for it. So a good read on the wave, and let's see where the judges go with that. It's a 4.25, enough to put him up to second. So Katut is in the lead. His last wave was a 3, so he's got an 8-point total. Varun has a 6-point total. And Pajar Ariana currently chasing a 3.01 for second. Kairi Noro looking for a 3.41. And here goes the Japanese surfer. It's just a flat wave so far. Looks like it might be walling up a little bit down the line. Sticking with it. Gee, this thing's turned into a left for him.
Yeah, I think he got some good work done on the outside that we'll see the replay of in a second. But yeah, got that wave really far down, so that'll be a long paddle out for green.
Yeah, the surfers are sitting a long way down the point compared to where they have been taking off the last few days. And that wave of Kairi Noro finishing up deep in the bay. The beach break that's been home to 1 million swimmers and surf lessons over the past week is now a washing machine. And hearing lots of whispers of point breaks up and down the coast that might spring to life over the next few days as well. What's your plan from here, Georgie May? You hanging around?
Yeah, I'm hanging around. I'm kind of in a position where I'm in and out of free surfs and heats and straight into school. So just trying to balance the two. So yeah, I think we'll hang around, but plan to go back soon, I think, and kind of get back to school. It's pretty difficult balancing the two, but that's what, you know, you got to give up things, you know, for the stuff you love. But here you go.
This is Pajar Anade Ariana, quickly up and down on his backhand. Last score for Kairi Noro came in at a 3.8. So it does bump him up to second, only just. Varun Tanjung's now just looking for a 2.15 to get back up into one of those two progressing positions. So if you're back to school, does that mean you are on a European Northern Hemisphere school calendar?
Yeah, British curriculum back in Bali. Big shout out to Canggu Community School back home in Bali. But 11 minutes remaining in this heat, and Katut's looking pretty comfortable in first position. Here we go. We're going to see a replay, I think.
Yeah, this is Kairi Noro's 3.8. So
I want to see what he did on the outside. Oh, it's just showing the
just
inside.
picked it up down the bottom half. So just a lot of sort of snowboarding through here. He's just turning his way into the inside, then hooks left. So he must have done a little bit of damage out the back to get that 3.8. We've got 10 minutes to go. Katut Agus is in the lead and has priority. He's the only surfer anywhere near the takeoff zone at the moment. Kairi Noro is sitting second with a 6.4. He needs a 4.21 for the lead. Varun Tanjung needs a 2.15 for second. Needs about a 3.75 for the lead. And Pajar Ariana needs a 3.41 to get up to second. And here goes Kairi Noro looking to consolidate second place. This is a good looking wall so far. One big turn, drops the other shoulder into a bit of a layback, and he is out of there. God, it's a washing machine right now. It's really different to conditions that we've seen for the whole week that we've been here.
That looked like a nice turn there for green, just dropping the backhand down there.
All right, last score for Kairi Noro's last wave is a 3.95. So little by little, Katut Agus and Kairi Noro building a bit of separation between themselves and Varun and Pajar. Varun's now chasing a 3.5 for second. Pajar's a 4.75, his requirement to get up. 9 minutes to go.
Here we go, Blue up and riding on his backside, really nice jam, and again just on that inside, the judges are really going to like that two-turn combo for him. Just kicking out there, I reckon he could get the score on that. That was really nice first and second turn there for Paja.
Yeah, that was a cool turn. He looked really fleet-footed, just kicked the tail out, nice bit of flair. And, looking forward to seeing a replay of this one. Talk us through it.
Just off the bottom, straight up vertical, and no pump in between into the next. Kicking out the tail there, and just kicking out of that one. Needing a 4. Oh, yeah.
Well, there
Looks
it is,
like
a
he got
7, the
score,
result.
the
So puts him into the
7.
lead. Here goes Katut Agus. And, yeah. Pajar, that second turn, had just a little bit of drift. And he could push it. You could tell he was just playing with it, tweaking it as much as he wanted to. And as you said, fluently out of the first turn as well. So that'll be where a lot of his points came from, those 2 turns, and then just the effortless transition between them. A 7 and a 3 now for Pajar, see him in the lead. Katut Agus, he's answered back with a 5.1. He jumps back up into the lead. So not much between them. Katut has a 10.1 two-wave total. Pajar has a 10. Kairi Nuro is now chasing a 6.06. Varun Tanjung needs a 5.76. 7 minutes to run. And this camera's getting blown off its tripod at the moment. A lot of noise on the beach. Does that mean we've got a Filipino surfer making his way out to the water for the next round? I think it does, Noah Arkfeld. We're going to check out a replay right now of Katut Agus's last wave. This was a 5.1. Dealing with, you know, a milkshake of a wave, but hit it pretty nicely. I would guess he had a turn in before that as well. Here goes Kari Noro on the hunt for a 6.06. We're seeing a lot of this from Kyrie, where he's just got these flatter waves where he's just S-turning his way through to the inside and hoping he'll get a section. That one hasn't cooperated with him either.
Yeah, so Green needing a 6.06. You think he'll get that on that last one?
No.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't see what he got up to out the back, but
yeah, just coming in at a 2.7. Looks like he's just taking the ones kind of off the point, but they're not really lining up. Can definitely see what he's trying to do. Just there's not many waves that really kind of line up and go down all the way down the point with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Katut and Paja looking pretty comfortable in first and second, but Green and White could easily get the scores required to advance in the last 5 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock.
Okay, up next, Noah Arkfeld. He's from right here in the Philippines. Keiki Yamanaka and Hiroto Arai from Japan, and Oni Anwar, the sole Indonesian surfer. Have you spent much time with Oni over the years?
Yeah, I have. Oni is a great guy from Lakeys. He actually coached me in one event back in Bali. I'll never forget it. It was actually my first QS I ever did at halfway. So he's definitely a favorite here in the Philippines. They love him here, obviously winning the SEA Games a few years back. But here we go, Varun up and riding. Bang, just in the pocket there. Looks like he did some nice work on the outside, requiring a 5.76. So
he sat with priority for a little minute there, and
to see the replay.
Knew that he needed a decent number. Wouldn't have wanted to take off on just anything to cash in his priority, and I reckon he might have picked a good one. We didn't see what he got up to out the back, but you'd imagine he had a couple of turns under his belt by this stage already. That's a bit of a money turn given the conditions at the moment. So interested to see where this number comes in for Varun. Well, it's a 3.7, so it goes into his top 2, doesn't change his requirement. He's still on the lookout for a 5.76. priority now with Katut Agus, who's looking to upgrade one of his 5s. And priority is following the positions at the moment. Second priority is with Pajar Ariana. Anything over a 3 will consolidate his position, so he can do that pretty easily. 3.5 minutes to go. Time is in short supply for Varun Tanjung and Kairi Noro.
Looks like there's some waves rolling through here in the last 3 minutes. Surfers just scratching to get anything they can to get the scores required to the round of 16, the next round here in La Union.
3 minutes remaining. So when you were just out there, Georgie May, how much water is moving around? Is it pushing you down the point pretty quickly?
Yeah, pushing you right down the point. When you get a wave, you've got to scratch your way and just hope no sets come through. There's a lot of water moving. You can barely hear the commentary. So you just, and you can't really see your other competitors either. There's just so much whitewash. So you're solemnly just focused on yourself and what you've got to do to get through to the next round. But it's tricky, but there's definitely potential, as we've seen from the surfers from our heat, like Pajar getting a 7. So there is potential out there in the conditions here.
All right, 90 seconds to go. Will Varun or Kairi Noro get one last crack at it? You'd almost want to sit a little bit wider at this point. With no priority, there's no point getting too close to Katut or Pajar. See that on screen. So Katut and Pajar are the 2 deepest surfers. Varun and Kairi Noro just sitting a little bit wider, hoping they can sneak something under the guard of their opponents. I'm not really sure why Katut's not sort of moving down to keep a close eye on Varun and Kairi Noro.
Here we go, 40 seconds remaining. Looks like there's some waves coming through.
There's lots of waves coming through non-stop out there. It's just a question of
which ones you go on.
Will any of them stand up and turn into surfable waves for our competitors? It's a washing machine right now. Here is Kairi Noro. So all the way down the point. He's got away from his opponents. I'm not sure why Katut or Pajar have let him go and sit by himself, but he's on the hunt for a 6.06. It's turning into a left for him now. He's still sticking with this one. It dies out in very deep water. He's way down into the bay. Katut looking around as he makes his way into the beach. So, score still to come for Kairi Noro and Katut. This is Pajar. He's the man in the firing line. Katut can't be knocked out, but Pajar would be hoping that Kairi Noro's wave comes in under a 6. In which case he'll be safe. And there it is. Last wave for Kairi Noro, 3.9, so it's not going to be enough. And it is the 2 Indonesians, Katut Agus and Pajar Ariana, through to the next round. We're kicking off Heat 2 of the round of 32 right now. Noah Arkfeld from the Philippines, Kaiki Yamanaka from Japan, Oni Anwar from Indonesia, and Hiroto Arai also from Japan. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The La Union International Pro will be right back after this quick break.
Okay, welcome back. I'm Jerry Deegan, and you'll have to suffer with me for the next few minutes. We're now moving into the round of 32 Heat 2, and we're still with Georgia May. Are you enjoying your time in the box?
Oh yeah, loving my time in the box.
What are you thinking about the surf?
You know, it's tough. It's really tough out there, but there's still potential. There's still scoring potential. You've just got to listen to your intuition, just find the ones that are going to bowl and hit the sections, and that's really what the judges are looking for today. And you can see that they're really rewarding those types of wave. Like in the last heat, we had Padja, and he got scored a 7, but it looked like Oni got off to a really good start with a 6.27.
Yeah, we'll probably get a replay of that at some stage. But, yeah, that's a fantastic start on a day like today. Oni came second in the event in Siargao last October. So he's been to the Philippines many, many times. He loves it here, and they love him here, actually.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
big crowd favourite.
Yeah, he certainly is. Green had a bit of a look at that. Noah is from Siargao. Noah's a young guy. And here's the replay of Oni. That was a really good start. And just kind of make some space for himself on the inside here. Don't know if it stood up further in, but he's hanging on. So I'm assuming, given the score, that he did something. Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's the money turn.
Yeah, epic finish. That's how you want to finish. He chased it even a little further. Noah is from Siargao. Did you meet Noah when you were there last time?
I think I did, yeah.
He's a tall, good-looking kid.
Okay.
And he's a good server, so I'm sure you noticed him.
Yeah.
Sure and his dad, Doug, will be watching right now. So, hey, Doug, how you doing? Hopefully Noah blitzes it this time. I know Doug will be sitting down there in Siargao watching with bated breath, and so will all the other Siargao people. Noah is, a real up-and-comer from the area. He's still a young guy, and he's, a future hope. So did we just miss a wave from Hiroto Arai? If so, he only got a 0.75. I suspect he just got up and down on that one.
Yeah.
I think we'll be having an interview shortly with the winner of the last heat. But I think the surf is not quite out of the water as yet. It takes a while now. You've got to go right down the line, run up the beach, fight the wind.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole journey in itself. But when you get through it, you definitely feel happy. You just kind of got to give it all you got when you're out there. But, yeah. It's really cool to see the talent from Siargao kind of coming through here in the Philippines. I mean, when I was there a couple of months ago, I was so impressed. Coming to the Philippines, I didn't have any expectations of the talent, really. And I was so impressed.
Yeah, well, as we know, Marama Tukong took out the final.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Nilby.
Yeah, it was the greatest result ever.
Oh.
I think
amazing.
we have Chris Binns downstairs at the moment, so he's going to have a chat to Kutut, who won our previous heat.
Thank you, guys. Kutut Agus, man, it is wild and woolly out there. How are the conditions?
Yeah, it's pretty hard out there. It's kind of tricky. Don't know where's the inside section. Don't know where outside section. Before I was like in the first priority. I just take the outside one and I just kick out and I lost my priority. I was like, I thought I'm still in the first priority because all the guys was at the inside. So it's kind of hard, but it's still fun out there. A little bit tricky, but good to make it the hit and going to next round.
Does it keep things a little bit more interesting when the waves are all over the place like that?
It's a little bit hard actually because you don't know where's the peak was. Because if the wind was not like this, you can like just sitting like outside there, you can see the peak, you just like staying. But now it's really hard to find like where's the peak was, and I was like there, just catch much as I can, just keep it rolling. I
want to ask you about the end of the heat because you were sitting up the top, you had the lead, you had priority. Your two opponents were quite a long way down the point. At any stage, were you like, oh, maybe I should go over and get close to them because there are waves kind of all over the place right now?
Yeah, I don't think about it because all the inside wave is gonna be fat. So I just like, okay, just staying outside. I don't want to stay really close to them, and like it's gonna be like hard to get point also at the inside because the wave is a little bit like short waves there. So that's why I just like, okay, just waiting the best. I have 1 minute, so I just like, okay, take last wave and just go it.
Couple of days off. What have you and the Indonesian boys been up to?
Just cruising. Yesterday we just like doing nothing, and the waves really small yesterday, but we're doing like fun session at the beach break, even like really tiny, but it's really fun with the boys to hang out and surf with them, you know. It's pretty great.
Yeah, there's lots of waves kind of up and down the beach. Have you been exploring other parts of the coast?
Actually, I really want to, but everyone was just like, okay, just surf here. And maybe the end of, before last day, maybe we go around, maybe going to the waterfall. They say 40 minutes from here, maybe just like going with the boys, you know.
All right, well, congratulations on the heat win. Good luck in the rest of the event.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, guys, and congratulations there to our winner of the previous heat. That was pretty impressive. And even more impressive is on his first wave. Now, there hasn't been much happening since. Here's Keiki, another just up and down. We'll see what they can do. They've moved down the line a little bit, haven't they? They're not sitting. Oh, no, they're still sort of there. Given that you're watching it from up here and you're looking and you were out there previous, is that where you'd be sitting, or you'd be sitting further down the line? Do you think they're in the right spot?
Yeah, I think they're in the right spot. I mean, there's no real right spot out there because the waves are kind of coming, you know, from everywhere. But even like I made the mistake of sitting a bit too far out, waiting for something that was going to roll down. But even just sticking to the inside and waiting for those ones that are going to, you know, really, you know, touch the reef and build.
Yeah,
that's
probably the way to go. Yeah, because look, the last heat was won by 10.10, so
yes.
You know, you can win this with a 4 and a 6.
Yes.
You don't need to necessarily have an 8. Obviously, you know, you want one. And in the first round, or the first heat of the women's, it was cleaner, and there was a 7.5 or something like that. So, you know, it's possible, but the conditions just aren't quite as good now. I saw your dad come in there and say, hello, Matt, how you doing? Matt played golf with us yesterday. We had a real good time.
Oh, yeah, I bet. He loves it.
He loved his golf. He's a pretty good golfer too.
Did he get frustrated?
He got a bit frustrated towards the end. He started really well, and then he sort of fell apart during the game. But we enjoyed it. So we really enjoyed it, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. And he didn't throw too many clubs. No, he wanted to. I know he did, but he wanted to. He didn't do it. So. And where's your mum?
Mum and my sister are back home in Bali at the moment. Shout out to them. I miss you guys so much. Thank you for the support, and to all my friends and loved ones back home in Bali. Looks like Red's up and riding here.
Noah, yeah.
Oh, just throwing
two
buckets.
Good hacks. Yeah, 2 good hacks there. So that's really going to help him get off the mark there. He was the only one that hadn't had a wave at that stage. So go Noah.
Go Noah.
Doug's been biting his fingernails at home, and now Noah's at least on the board with a pretty decent wave. Whether it be up there where Oni's was, I'm not sure, but 2 big turns. So if we might get a replay of that one, and we'll try to dissect it. I'll get you to dissect it.
All right, so it looks like he's up and riding here. Looks like a bit of a wider one. Carving through his first turn. Really nice rebound, getting all the power off. Just really nice turn there. And it just looks like the judges, they are really liking the 2 turns. Even the 1 turn, I'm pretty sure Sai earlier today, one of our female surfers from Japan, she just did 1 turn on her left, and I think she got like a 5 for it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, there was another. Oh, Noah got a 3.95 for that. I think it was a little horizontal. Wasn't quite as vertical as they like to see, but nonetheless, he's off the mark. And you know, as we said before, you know, a 4 and a 6 can get you through. There was someone in, I think it was your head, a Japanese girl on her backhand.
Yep.
That got basically an 8 with 1 wave, 1 massive backhand hack.
Bang, that is what the judges are looking for right there.
And he hung on really well there, so that's going to get scored superbly, I reckon. He smashed it, you know, he took a lot of risk there. Now he's got to get back out, but that was Keiki how do you say that? Yamanaka. Okay, and their scores are coming in quickly. So,
Wow.
yeah, he's done really, really well there. He's moved to the lead with a 6.50. So, the two highest scores, a 6.5 and a 6.25. Those two guys are in the lead with basically not a second wave at this stage. I mean, essentially no one's had a counting second wave. You would hope they're not going to count. That was the start of that wave, and that was just all the points were for that one hack.
That was the money turn, and he came out of it clean, and it wasn't even like a big wave. It was just probably one of those insiders that he picked off and
Correct.
just found a section and
Section
really
came right at him perfectly.
Right at him perfectly.
What's your thought on backhand versus forehand in this kind of wave?
I think it's pretty even, if I'm being honest. I think because there are flat sections that on your backhand you can tend to hit a bit more vertically, especially coming through the inside when it gets a bit fatter on the point. But in the free surfs, when it's been a bit cleaner, backhand and forehand, I haven't seen, it's just been pretty even. Okay. So it's very, it's really cool to see.
Yeah, look, for me, I like in surf like this, I do like to see the big backhand hack.
Yes.
I mean, that was a massive hack, but he had a wave coming, he had a section coming at him. I think you can get the big backhand vertical hack without the section coming at you still.
You can, yeah.
So, you know, for mine, and I am a goofy footer, so obviously, you know, I lean that way a little bit.
Too.
But, yeah, I think it's a slight advantage. I'm sure a couple of my mates at home will start texting me and telling me how wrong I am. But, yeah, that's what I think. With 12 minutes, just over 12 minutes remaining. If my wife was watching, I was just going to say 12-12 because there were 12 minutes and 12 seconds, and I'm born on the 12th of the 12th. So every time we see that on the clock during the day, we sort of look at each other and go 12-12. So it's 12-12, Susan. It's just passed, actually. And we are still in the same position. Well, Kayaki Yamanaka has moved into the lead. Nothing's happened since he did that, and like I said, no second scores of any note yet. So it's still up for grabs. Noah only needs a 2.91 to move into second place. Hiroto needs a 6.11. Oh, because he's got nothing at all. Okay. A 6.11 to move into second place. So too easy. Hiroto probably going to need 2 waves to do that, but I guess not necessarily. But it's a bit slow out there. You know, we're more than halfway through the heat. There's only 6 waves being ridden. So at some stage you think they're going to move in and grovel and start to put anything on the board. And you said you couldn't really hear much out there?
No, I couldn't hear anything at all.
Okay.
So, but in a way, it was kind of nice.
Keep the stress away?
Yeah, it relieved some of the pressure. So, and it was just like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to try and get a 10. You know what? You don't know what you're acquiring, you know? So you just
Do you set your watch before you go out there?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Definitely, yeah.
Is everybody doing that now?
Yeah, I think everyone does that. It's just, you know, so you can check it and you don't have to constantly
put your arms up
be
and,
reminding the commentator on the beach there. But he's been doing a really great job. Yeah,
there's Tim and Dom down there, and they're killing it. They're just not making any mistakes. And that job, you can't make mistakes because people's, let's say, livelihood, but their future and their points, they all rely on getting the right information from there.
For sure.
I mean, interestingly enough, even though they are doing a great job, no one's hearing them. it's
Exactly.
so windy. But you know who's hearing them? People on the beach are hearing them, so they know exactly what's going on.
They can whistle, they can do all that.
Yeah. I remember early days in Cloud9 when we first got webcasts, things like that. The beach announcer would say, there's a set out the back, and then someone started ringing us frantically saying, you're not allowed to say that, you can't tell the competitors that there's a wave coming. But of course, the crowd would whistle and carry on and let them know anyway.
Exactly. No, Xiaga was a great event last year. Definitely one of my favorites. It's such a cool place, definitely.
It is. And look at it, and it's because the government did a great job and UPSA did a great job. The people that ran the event really did a good job to make it good for everyone. Plus, it's a particularly good wave.
Oh, yeah, it's an amazing wave. Oh, my God. What a great wave for green. It just looks like the judges are really soaking up the surfers who don't have to do much. The sections just come to them. just like Blue's doing right now. Not much in between time. A little bit here, just getting through the flat sections.
Hoping for an inside section there.
He just wants this one to line up and bowl on the inside. A really nice carve there. He might kick out of this wave soon. Yeah.
That's a great wave. I think it'll be up near what his first one was. He's waving at us. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Keiki. How are you? So that was 2 very nicely ridden waves. The surfer in green hasn't really had a score as yet, so that's going to help him immensely. And
definitely.
And of course, the surfer in blue, Keiki, he hasn't had a second wave. So here's a replay of the surfer in green. It was the first great turn down, and then this, you know, a bit sort of bumpy at the end there, but he pulled it off pretty nicely. We'll see what the judges think about that.
Yeah.
Just hit that little wash on the way back. And I think he made a lot of his points on the inside here. It was well worth hanging on.
Definitely, especially for this carve. I mean, just look at that. Just throwing so much spray off that carve all the way back and just going, yep.
You know, followed up with a nice cutback, bounced off the whitewater, so we'll see what they do. So he got a 6.35. That was for Keiki. So very similar to his first wave, and the surfer in green got a 6.65. So that's pretty impressive. You know, similar scores, similar waves. They both smashed the whitewater. They both did a couple of big turns. So it's moved Hirotto up into second place. He needs a 6.20 to move into first place. And here's one we missed from Oni.
Huge turn there, throwing buckets.
And now he's on his backhand,
now
like we
he's
talked
on his
about.
Backhand, and it looks like he's going to finish this off. See,
Did
the
he?
average
Okay,
surfer would not make that last turn. He
No way, it was late.
planted
Yep.
his feet down. He was late to the section, and a little bit of a claim there from Oni, which is cool to see. I'll be very interested to see where that score goes.
I'm picking that it may possibly be the best score of the heat.
Yep.
Let's see. But yeah, he did everything he possibly could with that wave.
Oni will definitely get that 1.16 from that wave, but let's see if it goes into that excellent range on his forehand and on his backhand.
Okay, they're starting to drop. Okay, might not go into the excellent range. 6.5 is that? Okay, 6.5. Look, it's a great score. It's similar to the other scores up there. You and I were proven probably wrong. Well, I'm the one that said it would go, so I take that back. But nonetheless, it was a great wave, and it was exactly what he's looking for. He's moved up into second place, and he's made it a lot harder with only 6 minutes to go for Hirotto and Noah, who, I mean, Hirotto needs a 6.10. Noah needs an 8.8. Noah really hasn't got that one good score yet.
No. Noah's sitting there with priority with 5 minutes to go, so, you know, he either sits there, waits for an excellent wave, or just gets 2 pretty good ones to advance to the next round. But keeping in mind that it's a big paddle out, there's lots of current, there's lots of wind.
And we're running out of time.
Yes.
I think Noah's one of the back-tin boys, and there's a bunch of Shargow boys sitting down the beach there. Yok and Carlito and Elmer and the boys. So I want to say hello to you guys. It's a long way to travel. They're watching. A couple of them got kids that surf, got knocked out already. But Noah's still part of the crew. And I'm hoping he can do something in these last 5 minutes and 16 seconds. I did promise those boys I'd give them a shout out as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You got a mate listening you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, shout out to all my friends. There's so many to count. All my loved ones back home in Bali. Not even just Bali, Australia, the UK. Thank you guys so much for the support coming into these events. And yeah.
Well, let's hope you get some nice free surfs now.
Yep.
You know, we just don't know what's going to happen. It's certainly picked up more during the day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, last night I was surfing the little beach break next door and barely getting a turn, and everyone was just swimming, you know. So it's really nice to see that the swell has picked up, that's for sure.
What I have noticed that the predictions on the wind have been fairly accurate. On the swell they haven't been,
Yep.
but on the wind they have been, and they are saying far, far less wind tomorrow. So we can only hope that that's correct, because actually every time I sit down here it seems to be blowing a little bit harder. There's some serious whitewater out there. You wouldn't want to be out on a boat, that's for sure.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, I mean, I'm sure people listening can hear it in our microphones.
Yeah,
you know.
I think so.
So just under 4 minutes to go. Kaiki Yamanaka is still in the lead with a grand total of 12.85, and just a hair behind is Oni Anwar with a 12.75. Oni needs a 6.35 to move into first. Hiroto Arai, he is sitting with an 11.05, and he only needs a 6.10 to move into an advancing position. So it's very, very doable. Time's starting to run out for Noah. He needs an 8.80 to move into second place, and I think he'll be starting to get worried. And let's hope that somehow he can get that 10 you were dreaming for before.
Yeah.
He has priority, and maybe that's his issue. I don't know.
He's got priority, and it looks like he's just going to want one amazing wave, because at this point it'll be very, very tricky to get one all the way down and to get another one on top of that.
I agree.
So
He's basically backed himself into a corner. He needs a massive score.
Yep.
Because you just can't paddle out that quickly.
And the tough thing about needing a massive score is which one to go on. Do you go on the bigger wave? Do you go on the smaller one with a bit more wall? Because
well, he's out the back, so he's probably not going to get a small one. So he's kind of backed himself into he has to get a big one.
Yep.
And he probably knows that unless he gets a big one, then he's probably not going to get the score anyway.
It's just whether or not it's going to roll down the point, this beautiful point break that I'm sure we'll be seeing in the next couple of days.
Hopefully nicer and more friendly. After this particular heat. That's official? Okay, I've just been given some information there from John Carby that the talk is to go off after this heat and go on standby because the scores are not there, and we will, I suspect, come back and make a call if the wind dies off. Otherwise, it's just too strong, and it's just too uncomfortable, I suppose. It's kind of a shame for the people that have suffered through the sort of bad conditions, but that's surfing. All the surfers know what goes on.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so that's the official call after this heat. So with 1 minute 30 to go, we'll see what happens for the rest of the day. It is predicted to stay quite windy. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But again, the guys probably don't want to go out there. I'm not sure if they've had a discussion with the surfers or they just opened their eyes and went, oh my God, this is tough. Oh, okay. So they're talking about it's not so much the waves, it's the safety of the spectators, etc. The winds are meant to stay really strong all afternoon. We've got a lot of signage, we've got a lot of tents, we've got a lot of things going on out there that can become particularly dangerous. So, yeah, apparently that's the actual call because I got to say it's blowing at 40 knots at least out there. And there are tents and heavy things and signs everywhere, and there's Noah not getting what he needed. So that's the reason we're going to go off for the afternoon. Maybe there's a little chance of coming back on, but we're thinking if the wind doesn't die off, we'll be back early in the morning, hopefully.
Just 25 seconds remaining here, the last heat of the day. Looks like Kaiki in first, Oni in second, just counting down there. Looks like we have a bit of a delay here.
Yeah, okay, so that's it, unless in that delay we see someone quickly get a wave. That's it for the day, and there's Oni. Oh, well, there's one that we didn't see, Noah. So we'll just stick with this for a little while and see what Noah does and what he did. I mean, he needs a massive score, probably the highest score of the day. He's certainly a fantastic surfer and capable of the highest score of the day. Whether he actually is able to pull it off here is unknown.
Yeah.
He doesn't look incredibly happy.
Not too sure if he's going to get the score on that one, but definitely some really nice surfing, just connecting it all the way through. The score comes in at a 1.0 there, so... I
think that must have been for his previous little one?
Previous wave.
And so that one, I don't know if it was before or after the hooter. So I'm suggesting that that's basically it for the day. Congratulations to Kaiki and Oni. And that will be a bit of a wrap. So thanks for sitting in with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, and we'll drag you back tomorrow as well if you're interested.
Definitely.
So,
thank you so much.
You know, we were quick. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to everyone. Unfortunately, we have to stop for the day. So from here on in, it's see you later from us, from the La Union International Pro, and we will be back at the very latest in the morning. So thank you for watching, and have fun all.
Have fun.
Around the world, they've been surfing for 60 plus years. For us, it's relatively new. First time that we had all come together under this United Philippine Surfing Association. Surfing it is an Olympic event. The potential for a Filipino to get very far in surfing is there. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes the Philippines to raise surfing. Competitive surfing is more than just a lifestyle, it's actually a job, and that's the way we need to approach it, and that's the way we did approach it. In the short term, we need to compete. We need to compete in our country, we need to compete in other countries. We need to be exposed to surfing across the Philippines, and that is exactly what we're doing. 2022, we went aggressively into competition mode. We had 4 legs in 3 months, an international event in Siargao. We had our national event in Siargao, Belair, Borongan and Cabugao. Next year, we're going to double that with 8 legs and 2 international events to the WSL. Since the announcement of surfing in the Olympics, amazing things have happened in our sport. We've put our focus on the youth, the stars of tomorrow. We have a caravan that goes around the Philippines. We go from province to province and train them and educate them on how to become Philippines' greatest surfers. We want to raise up champions, the glory of victory. We want to mix this all together and showcase the talent we have right here in the Philippines. We want to raise up athletes who will raise up gold for the Philippines. Without the support and love of Next Gen, the next generation of surfers in the Philippines wouldn't be where they are today. Maraming salamat, Next Gen, and we look forward to continually working with you.